What's the point of watching football all weekend if you can't overanalyze it?
Reaction Monday is sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan. It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, back at it on a Monday with you guys. Happy to be along for the ride with my man, Matty Ice. CB back at the switches. Good to see you, fellas.
It's great to see you, my man. Great to see you. How you feeling? I feel good. You just saw me have my pregame Caesar salad. You know I'm a Caesar salad guy, so I'm being fueled by Caesar salad, so I'm ready to rock and roll.
There should be some sort of an NIL situation for you then. We haven't figured it out. We know, here's the problem that I have, and you know that I love you, but I will say this. A Caesar salad, and unfortunately, you do not eat carbs, so you will not have the croutons, and I will not eat a Caesar salad without croutons.
Yeah.
There are certain croutons that come with a Caesar salad that are even sometimes better than the normal crouton.
Yeah.
It's almost like a gourmet crouton in a way. And I'm not some crouton expert, but I will tell you, when you get a really good crouton with a Caesar salad, it puts it over the top.
Yeah.
Sometimes they've gone with some other bread companion piece on there. But I do like a good Caesar. Did you have any ground pepper on that?
I did not
Should we have walked around with the mill for you?
No, I did not
Say
have any
when.
ground pepper. I love that, by the way. You go to like an Italian spot with just the cheese, like just keep going. On my spaghetti and my lasagna, just run it out.
All right, so if you want to look up something, and I think this is from the old show, The League. I don't know if you ever watched The League.
The League is one of the most underrated shows, I think, of all time. And I don't know if it's because we love fantasy football, so that's why I'm so invested in it. But I love that show. It's amazing, right?
I want to say it was in The League where they came around with the pepper mill. And I can't remember who, Ruskin, somebody said, leave it. They're like, no, we can't leave it. Mm-hmm. You either get it now, and then there's somebody over there grating the Parmesan. Please look it up during the break.
I will.
It's one of the great ones. So I'm happy you're fueled. That's nice.
Yeah,
we're both wearing our gear today, which is
baby.
good.
Victory Monday for
Vikes
us.
are undefeated. You handed the Bills.
What happened to CB? Did the Browns loss made him completely shave his face? Is that what's going on
I
here?
didn't notice that.
Freshly
Why? Did he have a beard?
I'll probably go with that story. So thanks for the out there.
That is interesting. We will talk about the end of the orange and fudge. We'll get to a lot of Buckeye talk today. Jimmy Lachey jumping on at 12:33. And so, yes, you're right. You got the Ravens. They made the Bills their personal hand puppet last night. Somehow my Vikes go into Lambeau again and get it done, and they're undefeated. So I'm going to ride the wins now. I'm not going to be that fan. I mean, I'm very realistic when it comes to what they could be, but I didn't see this coming. I don't think anybody saw this coming. I think they are the story of the NFL right now. As far as, I mean, maybe Washington with Jaden Daniels are a close second, but right now, for me, the story of the NFL is fortunately and unfortunately my Vikes.
Are you comfortable now with me saying that the Minnesota Vikings can print the NFC North shirt?
What do you mean?
You got an NFC North dub yesterday, baby. The division is yours.
They haven't played Detroit yet.
They're
going to London.
The shirts.
They're going to London. Now, I feel a lot better about treating Aaron Rodgers the way I want to treat him in London. I feel better about that. And then they'll have the bye week coming back to get ready for the Lions at home. I'll tell you this. If they knock off Rodgers in London and come back and beat the Lions at home,
you'll print the shirts.
And they go 6-0.
You'll be willing to say it?
I'll be willing to allow you to say it. I don't think I'll be there with you bringing that shirt press down.
I've already said it. We got 4 dubs in a row.
You tend to say it fairly early.
And like you said, you go into Lambeau, baby, and get a win.
Yeah, that's not very common.
That's impressive stuff. It is.
Almost blew it. So as a typical Viking fan, real fast, at the end of that game, I was thinking that Kevin O'Connell made the biggest coaching blunder ever. There's a little over 2 and change left. 4th down, you're up 9. You can go up 12 by kicking a field goal, and force the Packers to get 2 touchdowns to beat you. Not a touchdown and a field goal, 2 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. He doesn't take the points. He goes for it. Bad spot. They don't get it. Love marches him down the field, scores. Here comes the onside kick, which, by the way, I don't know if you saw the onside kick. They brought the punter out to drop kick it.
I did not
It was
see
one of the
that.
coolest. Yes, it was amazing. No tee required.
Okay.
So they did a drop kick, and it had some weird bounce, short hop, all that. If the Packers get the onside kick, I have full 100% belief we're losing the game. Losing the game based on that coaching blunder. But it didn't happen. They won. I'll go back to my original statement. They're 4-0. That's all that matters. You never apologize for winning the NFL. I will have to somebody remind me to get these three dudes out of my fantasy baseball lineup today and try to lock in average.
Yeah, folks,
I don't want to tip off my opponent by doing it, but I need to get them out of there.
Folks, I want to let you know that AR, he came in this morning, and my man is so locked in. This is all you've been talking about all morning long. You're nervous about this. You're nervous about
it. You go 162 and you got to go to Monday. Put a lot of work into this. It all comes down to this.
They'll take care of you, the fantasy gods will. They got you.
Here's what you need to root either for me or against me. I don't care. You might want to root against me. That's okay. I can take it. The Mets somehow have to just scratch and claw a run today against this. I don't know who's pitching. John Smoltz?
Pretty much.
Who's pitching for Atlanta today? Schwellenbach from Saginaw, Michigan, is pitching for Atlanta today. It's not like he's Sandy Koufax. I mean, he's 8-7. He's got a 3.47 ERA. If the Mets can just scratch a run out, I probably win fantasy. I'd say probably.
I'm here to root for you. I'm not rooting against you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Come on.
All right, so we'll get him out of the lineup here live on the air in a minute because I can't afford to ruin my batting average is the whole point. Like, people may not understand why you're getting guys out of your lineup. I'm getting out of the lineup because I'm protecting a batting average. But Ohio State Saturday night was great.
Yeah.
Certainly it wasn't perfect, but we can only talk about what we can talk about, which is Ohio State came in and did what they needed to do. They were a big 23.5-point favorite. And I'll tell you, I go through the roller coaster like fans do. At the beginning of that game, I was saying again, things get weird. It looked kind of ugly. 3-0 after 1. Like, are they going to be able to hang in the game? And I don't know how you felt. I've actually called Ohio State's total points the last 2 weeks, 49 and 38. I've given the opponent a little. Well, actually, I gave Marshall too little, and I gave Michigan State a little more. I gave them 13. But here we are with what's the discussion today? Is it Will Howard? Is it that he finally faced – we saw the grade of Will Howard and we saw the so-so, and they only made him pay for it once. Mm-hmm. He got hit. He had to leave the game. Devin Brown came in. Real quickly, I'm at the casino watching the game. The Devin Brown play, if you go back and watch one play of this game, that never happens. The one-hand intercept or catch by Jeremiah Smith never happens if Trayvon Henderson doesn't pick up the blitzer.
So glad you brought it up.
It's my favorite play of the night, and there are a lot of great plays, and everyone goes to the one-hand grab, as you should. I thought Devin Brown only put it where he needed to put it. There were people at the casino that were trying to convince me that there was a horrendous pass, garbage pass, and Jeremiah Smith. No. I thought he put it where his guy could get it. But it's Trayvon getting from the right side of the backfield to a guy that's going to have a free run at Devin. I mean a free run blindside, and he is going to crack him. If Henderson doesn't chip block,
love that. It's a good call.
They're going to Devin Brown's going to third string.
It's a massive, massive moment right there for sure. Right, that you're talking about because he clipped him just enough. Right, it's not like he really laid him out, but that's all you got to do. Like, that's all you have to do as a running back, and that's great. For Trayvon to put that on film for the NFL and all that type of stuff because they know how explosive the guy is when he gets the rock and his ability to get outside, run between the tackles, and do all those things. But you show that to the NFL, that's only going to help your status go through the roof. So yeah, I like that in a situation. For Will, he had to fight through some things, right? He throws that interception, throws it into double coverage, trying to get it to Emeka, and then he comes out that next drive, and I thought he was efficient with getting the ball to a few playmakers immediately after that, and he cleaned some things up. And so that's what you want to see from a veteran quarterback on the road is, okay, you know what, I took one on the chin, but I still can come back and do some nice things. He put on display that RPO touchdown later in the game as well, which is something we knew he could do. That's just a stressful thing for a defense, right? When you got to worry about a guy like Quinshon Judkins and your quarterback can pull it and read the defensive line the way that he did. That was impressive. So they handled business the way that a lot of people thought that they would. And Jeremiah Smith just continues to just be this budding star week to week with just the amazing plays that he can make. And he just looks like a grown man out there already playing at, the highest level around college football right now. And so you just talk about a guy that can go up in double coverage and make big plays. You mentioned the one-handed play that he had there. It's just freak show stuff that we're seeing from this kid, man. And it's fun to watch because you see now why he was the biggest recruit in the 2024 class amongst everybody in the country. I see why he was the number one player in the country. The dude is just electric, special, all those type of things. And we got a few more years of watching this guy play, and I'm here for it.
I think you and I both like to take the positive and then compare the negative if they were playing a top-tier team. Yeah. And would this come back and haunt you? And there were some plays that happened on Saturday night that will not really be remembered because they won 38-7, and nor should it be. I like the fact that Will Howard did not have a perfect game, but he had his own kind of comeback game in a way. He gets hit. I thought on the early 4th and goal, he showed patience letting G. Scott drag across the goal line. He didn't have to let it go right away. His read option for the touchdown was good with a great block by Simmons. I feel like Malik Spencer has to pick him. He has to pick him. Like that was the biggest blunder that Michigan State. If Michigan State's thinking they dropped a pick, Velling fumbles in the red zone, and they're in the game. But the problem is when you're Michigan State and you're playing a team as good as Ohio State, you do have to play a perfect game, and they didn't, and they got cracked 38-7. Will Howard had one of those games that I try to think to myself, if he had that game against Oregon on the road where someone does pick him, where they don't have stone hands that drop a ball, where his the other one was a horrendous decision, just a horrible decision to throw that football. Yeah. If he has if he has one more interception in that game, does it matter? I don't think so. Not against Michigan State. They just didn't have enough firepower to be able to beat you. So
you had to grant them amazing field position. Yeah. That's how they got that 7 early on, is what they're inside the 20-yard line after that interception. So to your point, right, we were talking about a team that can get up and down and has that ability. Yeah. Those things may come back to bite you. No, that's very real, very real. Yeah, and so this is the only way we can compare it is that they look the part right now. Yeah. And we've talked about their schedule on the test that will come. And now Iowa will have 2 weeks to prepare for them. We'll see what they bring to the table. Certainly their offense is a little better. You've got to believe that each game moving forward, at least for the next, couple of weeks, that Ryan Day will know that his team's going to get a better test each week. Yeah. And here they are. When we come back, we'll discuss this offense and the beauty of it at this point. It's not just line up, smash mouth, or say go deep, I'll throw it to you. It's got a lot of misdirection to it, and it's really fooling defenses. We'll talk about it next. Off and running. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Scott from the Cleveland area has coached girls basketball and supported his granddaughter's athletic pursuits.
My granddaughters have worked hard to excel in sports. It's tough enough. So the idea that Sherrod Brown voted to allow transgender biological men to compete in girls' sports, it's unfair and dangerous. And introducing a bill to allow biological men in girls' locker rooms? Biological men to shower in my granddaughter's locker room? No way. I worry about the safety of my family constantly. Now I have to worry about Sherrod Brown's crazy liberal ideas. I thought Sherrod Brown was on my side, but he's way too liberal for me.
Sherrod Brown has let Ohio down. Now he's way too liberal for Ohio. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
With so much in one place, Meijer is the only stop you'll need to make. Save big with weekly deals going on now. Like California red or black seedless grapes, only $1.49 per pound. Fresh from Meijer 80% lean ground beef, just $4.99 a pound. And Meijer shredded, sliced, or chunk cheese, 3 for $6. You can always count on low prices and great quality at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See these deals and more in-store or in the Meijer app.
The time to save big is now. It's Ford Truck Month at your local Ford dealer, and the time to buy is now. Make way for great offers across an amazing lineup of Ford trucks, featuring the built Ford Tough F-150 and Super Duty. Check out the versatile Ford Maverick and the capable Ford Ranger. But you can't wait. These limited Truck Month deals won't last. Check it all out at buyfordnow.com. Then get over to your local Ford dealer today. Hurry in, as these deals won't last long.
Sunday, a day of rest, relaxation, and Browns football. Catch the Brownies as they head to D.C. to battle the Commanders.
Live coverage starts Sunday at 11 with the Kick at 1.
Your Central Ohio home for Browns football. The Fan.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Is your business generating over $1 million a year in revenue? If your financial advisory team isn't keeping pace, maybe it's time for a change. Here's Brad Hennebert with Premier Advisors.
Thanks, Bobby. Our team integrates financial planning and asset management with business accounting and tax preparation. Business owners have planning needs that are unique. We work with you to design a seamless financial services bundle tailored to your business with monthly or quarterly advisory consultations to help guide you along the way. We don't just keep score of what happened last year. Our team combines expert financial planning and wealth management with top-tier tax services, helping businesses like yours build wealth for you. Call us today at 614-524-4888. That's 614-524-4888.
Brad Hennebert is a registered representative offering securities through United Planners Financial Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through TCP Asset Management LLC. Tax services offered through Premier Tax CPAs. United Planners is not affiliated with TCP Asset Management, Premier Advisors, or Premier Tax CPAs.
Did you and your family lose Ohio Medicaid and need health coverage? Check this out. You may be eligible to enroll in a low-cost health plan at healthcare.gov. With the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov offers quality plans that cover doctor visits, prescriptions, emergency care, and more. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
If a friend asks how you're doing, and you say,
I'm okay.
When the truth is,
I don't want my problems to burden anyone.
Or you say,
hang it in there.
Because
if I ask for help, they'll just think I'm weak.
Then this is your sign to call, text, or chat 988 for free, confidential support. Anytime. You don't have to hide how you feel.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Here's a look at that weather report on your Monday. Cloudy along with showers, high 77. We're still dealing with the remnants of Helene today and possibly tomorrow, although Tuesday will be the drier of the 2 days. 79 tomorrow, along with a 20% chance of rain. Sunshine is back by Wednesday and Thursday. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
You started watching Ohio State pretty closely now in this offense and what they're trying to do to people. And it feels like their bread and butter, Maddie, a lot of this is this unbelievably great misdirection. These pulls and going the other way. I mean, all you have to do is go back and look at, that's a 10-7 game. It's kind of a little bit of a slugfest early. Ohio State's got a 2nd and 1, which is, open the playbook to anything you want. It's 2nd and 1. We're running anything here. And they do that misdirection, and you get G. Scott and Seth going left. Seth is pulling, and you get the flip end around. First of all, you get play action, too. You get play action with it. You get pull, play action, then a flip end around, and now you have, and G. Scott, by the way, who was pulling, is going back now. Now he's reversing to block for the flip end around, and you've got a Mecca blocking on the edge and him, and Jeremiah's speed. All he needs is those guys to hold their blocks for about a half a second, and he's going to beat who's ever trying to track him down and come over. And it's this misdirection that I've seen now early, even in the running game, even the one that Travion scored, against Marshall. it's just a lot of pulling and misdirection, and they've got the talent to do it. And if these guys hold their blocks, and it feels like there's a big prideful moment, when you're running a play like that you have nothing to do with it but blocking your guy on the edge. And so here they are, and that's a big touchdown. That puts them up 17-7. I know they got the one right before half, too, that was unlikely with the one-hander. But, that to me, this offense with Chip Kelly at the controls now, it's that stuff that has to just be for defenses, even defense coordinators. Like, how do you coach your team?
It stresses you out, man. It stresses you out because there's just so many different things that Chip Kelly and Ryan Day can go to, right? I always throw out, it's the Cheesecake Factory menu, man. There's so many things on that play sheet that you can dial up and hurt a defense, and that the misdirection you're talking about, like that's that eye candy for a linebacker or safety, and not really knowing where the ball's going to go on any given play is such a huge thing to have. And so this team right now as a whole, it's just a balanced unit. It's a very balanced unit, and we know the challenges are coming. But right now, you're talking about a program that is 5th in the country in total yards per game and number 1 in the country in points allowed on defense. And so teams are coming in and knowing that we may have an opportunity or two throughout a game if Ohio State doesn't hurt themselves to really make a bunch of noise against the Buckeyes right now. And so this is what we envision they could be. And when you have a quarterback that can do so many different things himself, it just adds to all the weaponry around him. And I thought on that 4th and 5 touchdown grab to Emeka, that was a dot. That was a dot. The defender was there. He was in his back pocket, and Will put that ball where Emeka could get it. And those are the throws that you're going to have when we talk about potentially Iowa with a solid defense and some of the big games on deck where guys aren't going to be running free all the time. You got to trust yourself and trust your playmakers, and that's what he did with the Jeremiah throw where there's a couple guys around him, and that's just a dude being a star, right? Like, my guy is just better than your guy. He's going to make the play, but I did want to give Will, his flowers on that throw to Emeka because that was an absolute dot.
So that's part of it. I'm thrilled you mentioned that because that's part of what he was on Saturday night. And that's where the maturity comes. That's when you're happy you have an experienced quarterback who's seen a lot, who's been through a lot. Because he didn't have the best game early, but he's still a leader. And I'm glad you mentioned that play because what were they up? 24-7 at the time? Did that make it 24-7? That Emeka touchdown? It may have. And so either way, and I'm glad you brought it up because in my mind, Michigan State's bringing 6.
Yeah.
And what made that play happen is the protection. I'm glad we all got to see Will Howard put a ball in the end from the time he releases it to Emeka catching it is probably about 20, 22 yards. And it is a rope and it's a laser. You're not leading a guy. He's coming across 22 yards away from you where you're standing, and you've got to lead him perfectly. This is throwing it through a tire from 22 yards and having to hit a spot. It's a lot easier to throw it in the air and let him run under it. Yeah. That was a different kind of a throw. But what made it happen was the fact that Ohio State was blocking against 6 dudes, and he had time like they were rushing 4. And that's the beauty of this. And, back to your cheesecake menu, we should start naming some of these, like those like the triple berry bliss and everything. Like, I think we need to start going through that menu.
Don't they have like a cinnamon crunch type of thing? They got all different type of cheesecakes, but I swear, like I saw like a cinnamon toast crunch type of thing on there.
These trick plays, like I'm looking at it right now. Like, we should start naming like the pineapple upside down cheesecake. Like, you've got a lot. This is what they have. I'm glad you mentioned the cheesecake menu because now I'm dying. And they got the low-licious cheese. Oh, the lascivious cheesecake. That's for you. Low carb, no sugar. The low lascivious cheesecake. But yeah, this is who they are, man. They can make the most average play. You know what they can do, Maddie? They can make a carrot cake taste real good.
You dunk it on carrot cake?
No, I've always said it's my go-to. It makes you feel like, I'm telling you, people think it's brutal.
I'm in on it.
You go to Cheesecake Factory and get yourself a big hunk of that carrot cake.
Works for me.
It's amazing.
Hey, real quick, because Jeremiah Smith's been awesome, but I do want to shine a light on what Emeka's been doing the last 3 weeks. I mean, you're talking Western Michigan 5 for 98. You go into Marshall, he comes out of that with 5 for 117 and a touchdown, and then 7 for 96 and a touchdown this week. And so this guy last year, right, dealt with the injuries, wasn't himself. We knew he was a really, really good player. Now he's putting on display how elite he can be. So you got Jeremiah and Emeka, these two just absolute ballers right now in that wide receiver room doing their thing.
So, and the one thing that I didn't bring up about that play was the move after the catch to get into the end zone.
That was good.
That's one that a lot of guys will take right out of bounds and be fine with. He turns it upfield on the sideline and makes it happen. If it's not happening for you, what I mean by that, if you're feeling tired, you're lacking motivation and drive, you gained some lbs, you've lost some muscle mass, could all be signs of low testosterone. I don't want you to wait anymore. I want you to find out. You can do that at Low T Center. They'll make it very easy to get your levels checked. Simple blood test. They have the on-site lab, so they spit the results back to you in 25 minutes. It's not like going to a doctor's office. You're not going to be sitting there waiting for an hour. Their physicians specialize in treating low T with customized therapy or TRT for every patient. And the experts have over a decade of experience. They've helped people, and guys have achieved life-changing results. Most health insurance is accepted for treatment, so get after it. Low T Center. You can also get your health evaluated for treatment for weight loss medications. They have it all. So get back to feeling your best. Go to lowtcenter.com, lowtcenter.com, and book that appointment. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care. All right, we'll come back with our friend Jim Lachey, and I'll ask him the ultimate comparison. Find out what that is next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
The only radio show Ryan Day listens to when we're holding him hostage, making him listen to a radio show. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
If you're struggling with ED or your performance is down and your belly fat is growing, listen up. You've got one life. Now is the time to act.
At the Columbus Men's Clinic, we're not just healthcare, we're your secret weapon. Don't wait another day. Here's why you need to act right now.
Every moment you delay, your condition could worsen. It's not just about sex, it's about your heart, your relationship, your life.
The Columbus Men's Clinic has over 10 years of proven results for low testosterone and increasing drive, energy level, and performance. We've introduced ED and enhancement treatments so exclusive, you'll wonder why you waited.
Procrastination is the thief of time. When it comes to your sexual health, you can't afford to wait. Join the League of Gentlemen who've walked out of our doors with a swagger.
Call the Columbus Men's Clinic at 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. Book your $99 male performance consultation now, including blood work. Call 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. The Columbus Men's Clinic, making it happen.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
At Diamond Cellar, we've been crafting love stories for over 77 years. Trust, quality, and always the guaranteed best price. Visit us today to experience the Diamond Cellar difference. Stop into our showroom on Sawmill Road or at Easton Town Center.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman. The fall deals at Germain Honda of Dublin are beautiful. The 24 Civic LX, only $249 a month for 36 months. The 24 Accord LX, only $279 a month for 36 months. With 10,000 miles a year on the lease, $34.99 cash cap reduction, payments plus tax, tag, and document fee, and away you go. How about 0.9% up to 36 months on the 24 Prologue, the first all-electric SUV from Honda. For the best deal in town, Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road.
It's Monday Night Football on ESPN Columbus and the Fans HD2. Catch the Seahawks and Lions from the Motor City. Live coverage starts Monday at 8.
Sponsored by Roosters, a fun casual joint.
Your radio home for the NFL, The Fan.
Order like a champ at Raising Cane's. With tailgates of hand-battered chicken fingers and cane sauce and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade, you can guarantee victory for every game day meal. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. By the time you're finished listening to this Pepsi Zero Sugar, you'll be 15 seconds closer to kickoff. Stock up now. Bengals game day is so close, you can almost taste it. Bengals watching. Better with Pepsi.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just the slogan. That's the Care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
Are you ready to unleash the beast? Monster Energy is here to give you the edge this college tailgate season. Loaded with bold flavors, our powerful blend gives you the energy you need to push you beyond your limits. Tune in all season long with Monster, the energy drink of ESPN Radio College Football Tour. Power your performance with a drink that's as hungry for victory as you are. Crack open an ice-cold Monster and dominate your competition. Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. Grab yours today.
Hey football fans, with BetMGM's Second Chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to gamble responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only in this U.S. promotional offer. Not available in Mississippi, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Anthony finally hit a hole-in-one.
It's in the hole.
So now what? Just bask in the glory?
And that's how she wrote.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
3rd and 10, Ohio State at the Spartan 17. Now Scott motions to the right. Devin Brown gets set, gets the snap, pressure coming. Devin Brown looks, throws right side, one-handed, into the end zone. Another one, touchdown on a 17-yard play. Jeremiah Smith reached up with one hand and snatched it. Devin Brown was almost about to be lowered, and the Buckeyes get a touchdown. Devin Brown to Jeremiah Smith, 23-7 Ohio State.
That was a big one, and it was right before the half. They steal one, and Will Howard certainly, going out and having Devin Brown come back in, and that'll get you out of your chair, won't it, Jim Lachey? Good to have you, my man.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was. What a great catch. What a great series by Ohio State right before the end of the half. That's, if you can score going in, knowing that obviously Michigan State had the ball to start the third quarter, there's just so much momentum, and you take that in the locker room with you. And, when you have a catch like that, and you already had a catch like that up the sideline in that drive, and all of a sudden Will Howard gets hurt, I'm thinking, okay, probably just hand the ball off. Let's get a field goal here, be conservative. But no, they dial up that, and Devin, puts it in a spot where only Jeremiah Smith can come up with that play, and just they grabbed all the momentum and really put that game, considerably out of reach. Certainly he had business to do in the second half, but you could just feel that whole stadium, and even at halftime, walk around the press box. That's all everybody wanted to talk about was, that play and momentum that Ohio State was able to grab there right before the end of the half. But, hey, we're seeing a fantastic play by Jeremiah Smith almost every game, and he stepped up and, obviously had the great run and 2 great catches on that drive. It was fun to watch, and that kind of makes you enjoy your job on the road.
No doubt. Jim, how much does he remind you of Chris Carter? I started thinking about some one-handed grabs he made and all the routes he could run, the acrobatic stuff. I know we're going back a while in your time, and the game was different, but it feels to me like there's a lot of they're very similar in size. Give me your. I know it's the ultimate comparison. I'm comparing a freshman to a guy that's a legendary player for Ohio State, but you played alongside him.
Yeah, no, Chris was a Hall of Famer, obviously, and what he's able to do, not at, only at Ohio State, but after that. But, honestly, it didn't happen for Chris until like maybe week 5, week 6, once you got into October. I think he really started coming on those last 8 games. Made a few plays early, but, the second half of the seasons where he really came on and he was a go-to guy. And, had a great Rose Bowl, and that's when you kind of start thinking about this guy. He's doing it from day one, the first game out, continuing on. So, there's a lot of comparisons, obviously, with the size, the ability. I think Jeremiah's probably a little bit faster. Chris had the knack for finding ways to get open and then using his body, on DBs and kind of boxing them out, so to speak, and, high pointing the football and bringing it in with his large hands. But Jeremiah he's kind of got that whole package going right away.
Jim, we were talking earlier about that touchdown to Jeremiah, the one-handed grab from Devin Brown, and AR brought up, I thought, a really good point, about Travion Henderson on that play with his blitz pickup there. And we've seen that a few times from him, Jim. He had the massive blitz pickup against Akron where he absolutely just smokes that dude, which was awesome. But I know as a former offensive lineman, you got to love when these running backs can stick their nose in there and help out the quarterback and the offense as a whole.
No, exactly right. That wouldn't have happened unless, they came with a corner fire blitz and Trey was able to run through some traffic, find the open guy, and then, deliver the shot. Now, he still got a hit on Devin after he threw that football, but gave him just enough time to make a play. And, let's go back. That drive doesn't happen unless, Tui Maloa gets that sack there on that drive right before that Michigan State had the ball. Michigan State goes back there thinking, if we just kill this clock, they don't have that opportunity. But they got him in the 3rd and 11, get some pressure, get some sacks. They had to punt the ball away. They got with a minute 19 to go. They got to go out there and get some first downs. And, we talked about Jeremiah having a huge grab on the sideline to, kind of get him in that red zone. Once you get inside that 20, the goal for an offense generally is, hey, no more negative plays because we got points now. And, let's find a way to get some points. And they were able to do it. So, Coach Chip Kelly, dialed up some great plays. And, they had 4th down success, too, which is also kind of tough for defense because you get them in the 4th down. You're thinking, okay, we got them to punt. And, Ohio State kind of says, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to go for it here. Has great success, 3 out of 4 on 4th down conversions and, stood up and made some plays. And, give credit to Devin Brown coming in cold. You get probably 10 or 15 passes quickly on the sideline where they're attending to Will Howard who, look like, again, got the air knocked out of him. So he's sitting there, gasping for air and, a lot of drama right there. But he comes in cool, calls the play. Travion picks up the blitz. Offensive line did their job really all game long in pass protection, 0 sacks. That's 2 games this year that they haven't given up a sack. And, that's impressive in its own right. But, just to do that before, and then you go out, you start, they talked about that middle 8 minutes, the last 4 minutes of the first half, the first 4 minutes of the third quarter. They go out there. Cody Simon almost gets that interception. Again, we had pressure again by Tui Maloa working against a freshman right tackle. They have to throw that ball. Childs has to put a little air underneath it to get it over his, outstretched arms. And Cody almost comes up to play. You make him punt, and, and then Emeka, takes over and gets to the pass on a 4th down. It was 4th and 5, and able to take that into the house and make a play to get another TD and, make it a 31-7 game. So just great play calling, great execution. And the defense pretty much did a good job. The opening drive of the game, Ohio State takes it all the way down the field, got the holding call, or actually the personal foul there on our tight end. And, we had to settle for a field goal. And, then it's 10-0, and we get the ball back. And, like, okay, we're going to go up 17-0, have the turnover. And that was really the only offense. They had, the ball at the 12-yard line, and, they were able to get in on that 12-yard pass reception to I think it was number 12 out there that made a nice play for him. Or no, number 4, Jaron Glover, was able to step up and get in the end zone there. But you got to win with defense on the road, and certainly the defense gave up some yards there in the first half, but got some stops too. That 4th down stop where they went for a 4th and 1, Cody Simon plugged the A gap and was able to meet Childs right there in the hole and no gain. So those are huge opportunities for your team. It was a loud crowd there that first half, but in the second half when we went up 31-7, like half the student section left after that, and all you could see was taillights for the rest of the second half, and that's a good feeling again on the road.
No doubt. Hey, Jim, in our last 30 seconds here, I just want to get your feel on Iowa coming in. We know how much this one means to you and the family. So your thoughts on Iowa and just what we're going to see between these two teams on Saturday.
A lot of friends and family coming in, obviously, for this one to see Iowa and my son Luke play. So I'm excited about that. Offense is better for them this year. Their defense is led by their linebackers, Jay Higgins, Nick Jackson. They've been doing a great job. They've been good against the run. They got a really good cornerback in number 27, Jamari Harris. Two good defensive tackles in Y.A. Black, number 94, and Aaron Grace. A veteran offensive line. Most of these guys have had playing time underneath their belt. And, Cade McNamara, hopefully can just continue to get better and better. So you'll see a lot of probably 12 personnel, much like Michigan State did. So Ohio State maybe we'll go with Arvell Reese in there at linebacker, just to kind of defend against that and get an extra big body in there to slow down Caleb Johnson.
Good stuff, man. I know it'll be a fun week for you. A lot of emotion going on, so we wish you well, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, Jim.
Sounds great. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, Jim Lachey with us, the former All-American at Ohio State on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. All right, when we come back, a little party like a RothStar. What does that mean? Who had the best weekends? We'll give our votes next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
Ma, the meatloaf!
The Fan.
From the first one born in the USA to the tens of millions that followed, from the American highways to the NASCAR race days, Toyota Camry has been there, done that, and has the accolades to prove it. But that wasn't enough. It had to be better. Introducing the all-new 9th generation Toyota Camry. All hybrid all the time to be more efficient yet powerful. With the capability to go wherever you want to go in style and comfort. The all-new 2025 Camry from Toyota. Let's go places.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place. And aspiring comedian.
That's fun. What's your best joke?
All right, two windows were hanging out side by side. The first window says, "Sure is a hot day." The other one says, "A talking window."
That's pretty good, Wilson.
Bet you can't top that one.
Well, at Pella, we don't have the talking windows, but we do have the windows your friends will talk about.
Dang it, that's good.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rate the leading and most trusted at PellaColumbus.com.
Attention Ohio pizza restaurant owners. Tired of glitchy point-of-sale systems slowing you down? Meet Hunger Rush, Ohio's favorite pizza POS. With reliable hardware, an easy-to-use system, and 24/7 customer support, Hunger Rush speeds up your operations and boosts repeat orders by up to 10%. This is the restaurant point-of-sale built for pizza. Easily manage your drivers, easily take orders online, easily train your staff in minutes, and easily make modifications. Need to talk to a real person? That's easy too. Top Ohio pizzerias are winning with Hunger Rush. Solutions to help you streamline service, optimize workflows, and maximize profits. Join the thousands of successful restaurants transforming their operations with Hunger Rush for $0 down and $0 a month. Tools for menu management, marketing, customer engagement, and increased upsells, all in one simple platform. That's Hunger Rush, Ohio's favorite pizza POS. Schedule your free no-obligation demo at ohiopos.com. ohiopos.com. ohiopos.com.
The Jackets are back at Nationwide for preseason action as they battle the Capitals. Live fan coverage starts Monday at 6:45.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating and Cooling.
Proud to be your flagship home for the Blue Jackets, The Fan.
Bob Yoakum, president of Rockford Homes, talks about what makes First Bank of Central Ohio different.
I would say it starts by caring. It starts by doing what you say you're going to do and following through on it. When you're talking about local, you're talking about relationships and people that matter to you. I don't care if that's personally or professionally.
Experience what it's like to be first at First Bank of Central Ohio. Visit fbcentralohio.com for more details. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
APCO, windows, siding, and decks. Business First says we're the largest remodeler in town. Our philosophy is simple. We don't rely on sales gimmicks to get our customers. We rely on our reputation.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
Order like a champ at Raising Cane's. With tailgates of hand-battered chicken fingers and cane sauce and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade, you can guarantee victory for every game day meal. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Gear up for game day with GNC. Just like your favorite college team prepares for their matchup each week, you can get ready to crush your fitness goals with GNC. Your coaches are in stores, ready to help you build muscle like a linebacker or slim down after a tough season. They have everything you need, including all the top brands, the new flavors you crave, the hottest protein, pre-workouts, creatine, and more to tackle your fitness goals. Don't wait for the final whistle. Fuel your fitness at GNC. Visit your local GNC or GNC.com today.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor. Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Saturday is game day on the Fan.
Sponsored by Reichert Ford.
Every game, every season, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. Let's all gather into the Kiki. It's time to party like a RothStar.
All right. Didn't think I was going to do it, Maddie, but I'll do it.
What are we doing?
I'll do it for you. The trendy thing before the NFL season started was to just rip on Sam Darnold. It was trendy. A lot of people did it.
He kind of earned it, to be honest.
But he never had a team or a coaching staff. He just never had anything. And now the man that everybody thought, and may still, just implode and either hold a clipboard and make some money or, dare I say, be out of the league. Leads the Minnesota Vikings to a 4-0 record with the most touchdown passes in the league.
Okay.
Who had that? Completing 69% of his passes. And he threw 3 at Lambeau. And now everyone's saying, well, I wonder how much money he's going to get in free agency. That's a little early for that. But I can't believe I did it. I checked the MVP odds at the break.
Here we go.
Because, I mean, he's not going to win it. He's 10-1 to win the MVP. Your guy, Lamar Jackson, unless everyone has just massive fatigue on that. And here's the other big good and bad. I'm on to fantasy hockey now. I lost Rashee Rice to probably an ACL here in fantasy football yesterday.
Welcome to next season.
Yeah. Thank you.
You guys are
Thank
wild,
you, Steve.
man.
Thank you. Where can we get the draft order for 2025?
It's nice and warm over here.
Thank you.
I'm there with you.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I didn't change my team name yet. But Mahomes winning MVP, now losing his number one target. If the Kansas City continues to be great, then I don't know how you're going to overcome that.
Yeah.
Mahomes, because that's why he is the favorite still. But I looked it up, and I just have to give it to Sam Darnold because I didn't think this was possible. I laughed at you when you said, go ahead and draft Justin Jefferson anyway. And I said, nope, don't want any part of it.
He's just...
And I know, but I got to give it to Sammy Darnold. The fact that he is leading the NFL in touchdown passes, and he's got his team undefeated. This is not just a stat thing, celebration. His team is winning, and he has a ton to do with it. So, Sonny Delight, Sonny D, keep doing what you're doing.
I'm here for it. The dude's been really, really fun to watch. You started off with one of your guys, so I'm going to start off with one of my guys. And I'm talking about Derrick Henry. Did you see him last night? Mm-hmm. Derrick Henry was rolling at the bank last night. I'm telling you, there's just certain guys that were born to be in certain uniforms, and that man was born to be in a Baltimore Ravens uniform. Derrick Henry yesterday, 24 carries, 199 yards, 8.3 a pop, 1 touchdown through the air, and 1 touchdown on the ground, had that 87-yard run. It's crazy to see a dude built like that run away from defenses. 6'2", 247.
Wasn't that a franchise record, that 87-yard run?
I believe you're correct in saying that. It was awesome to see him do that because he did it to my Ravens a few years ago where he threw Earl Thomas out of the stadium on a stiff arm. Derrick Henry right now leads the NFL in rushing yards. He's tied for rushing touchdowns right now, and he's tied second in the league in carries. They paid him AR. They're putting it on his plate and letting him eat every week. Derrick Henry has been balling the last 2 weeks, but last night he was partying like a RothStar.
All right. I'm going to go to a guy that was born in California, starred at LSU, and now plays for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And that is Paul Skeens.
Hey.
And this is the most dominating rookie pitching performance we've ever seen. He finished his rookie year with a 1.96 ERA. It's the greatest rookie season of all time. His opponent's batting average, 198. All day. And the worst part about it was his last outing, he only pitched 2 innings. And he was at New York. And he K'd Soto and K'd Judge to cap the most dominant rookie pitching season in 50 years. And it's all day. Sub-2 ERA, 11-3 with a horrible lineup. And he dominated the Yankees lineup for a couple innings there. And so I know it's the lowest by a Pirate starter all time is that 198 opposing batting average. But he is, I don't know what his nickname is. He should have one by now. I've heard Paulie fastballs and all that stuff.
He's
but
the ski nom.
Yeah. The ski nom's very good. Yeah. Paul Revered is also a pretty good one.
How you feel about the mustache he's rocking? I'm out on that, though.
I thought that was like the trendy thing for guys his age now in their low 20s.
No, it is, but just for him, I think it's, I don't know. Hey, his girl must like it, so her opinion matters more than mine. But I'm just out on the mustache. It's kind of like a crustache, a little crusty to me.
I'll take a look. I haven't been locked in on it, but if it makes him more intimidating, then
listen. The dude is just,
ride it.
He's incredible. Second candidate for me. We witnessed football cinema down in Tuscaloosa on Saturday, and one of the actors in the film was Ryan Williams. This kid is just ridiculous. He and Jeremiah Smith have come into the college football realm and gone scorched earth as true freshmen. Ryan Williams had that amazing 75-yard touchdown that was just like, really? Is that easy for you spinning away from dudes, dunking on dudes all over the place? Ryan Williams, 6 catches, $177 and a touchdown, as I just mentioned. This guy's averaging 29 yards a catch. He's 17, and he's in the SEC, just like, you know what? This is easy for me. 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year in Alabama. He's an Alabama kid, obviously, from Mobile. And he is just electrifying week in and week out. That connection between he and Jalen Milroe is so fun to watch. And he had a funny quote after the game talking about Jalen Milroe. He said, quote, he knows 4 + 2 = 6. That's their jersey numbers. Right. When you get those guys together, he's probably taking it to the paint. Ryan Williams, freshman, true freshman for Alabama, is just a dude. And he's partying like a RothStar.
All right, finally for me, 10 straight victories at the President's Cup for the US of A. Second most by any American team, international team match play period. I'm going to give it to 38-year-old Keegan Bradley, who wasn't picked for the last Ryder Cup. He's the surprise selection to be the captain next year. And he clinched the winning point for the President's Cup. Great redemption for him. He's the oldest player on the U.S. team. They end up cruising 18.5 to 11.5. A year ago, I told you he was left off the Ryder Cup team by Zach Johnson. They went with the younger dudes, Justin Thomas, Spieth, and Ricky. They were all watching this on TV with the rest of us. And so you fast forward to this year when Tiger kind of, put off the decision and then said, nah, I don't want to captain it. So they gave it to Keegan for next year. The fact that he was the one that clinched the point at 10 years ago, being part of the losing point in the Ryder Cup. But this was Jim Furyk's team. They were tough. They played great on the back nine. I remember a lot from this weekend. Cantlay's putt in the dark. That great moment for Siwoo Kim when he tried to go night-night. And then 2 holes later, they lose. That still was a great moment.
That's tough, man. If you go Steph Curry night-night, you got to deliver.
He holds it. Did you see the Curry IG'd him and said, love the energy, but you got to time and score.
Got to finish
time
the job,
and score.
Bro.
So he holed out at 16 and he ran around the green night-night, which, by the way, was an amazing moment, only to tell you that 2 holes later, they lose. So, but it was a great President's Cup, good for the USA. Furyk's team was awesome, and Keegan got his moment.
Last candidate for me. His name is Gerson Rosas. Who is Gerson Rosas? He is the general manager, ladies and gentlemen, of the New York Knicks. and this man ain't playing. He is not messing around. We got a Shams bomb. There's no more Woj bombs anymore. We got a Shams bomb this weekend because we found out that the New York Knicks traded for Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, that is doing business right there. Now, you get rid of Dante DiVincenzo, Julius Randle. That's not easy to overcome. Those are two good players, but I love what he's done this offseason. He got Jalen Brunson on that amazing deal, and credit to Jalen Brunson for doing that and leaving a bunch of money on the table. But they also acquired Mikal Bridges, who's an absolute stud. You signed OG Anunoby to a massive deal, and now you trade for one of the best offensive big men in the sport. So Gerson Rosas, GM for the New York Knicks, is doing his thing right now. He's partying like a rockstar.
Very well done. All right, there's your party for this weekend. We come back, Sports Center update, top of the hour. The Deshaun blame meter. We visit it every week. Which way does it point? We'll discuss next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Bobby Carpenter doesn't have a mullet, but he's knee-deep in mullet energy. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekdays starting at 6.
The Fan.
At Baths R Us, we're terrible roofers. We stink at installing siding. And don't ever call us for your kitchen remodel. But if you want a stunning, beautiful bathroom makeover in just 2 or 3 days, now that's when you want to call us. See, unlike most contractors these days, we offer only one service, bathroom remodeling. We don't spread ourselves thin by doing roofing or siding and a bunch of other stuff. Nope. At Baths R Us, we dedicate every company resource into mastering the craft of bath transformations. It's why we're the Midwest's biggest 5-star family-owned bathroom company. And it's why we have the happiest customers. Just check out our Google reviews. Baths R Us. We're terrible roofers, but we're awesome bathroom remodelers. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsrus.com. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code Columbus now for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code Columbus. Trust and Will is an online service providing legal forms and information. It is not a law firm and is not a substitute for the advice of an attorney.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So you've got an oil change coming up. You can go farther and save on full synthetic with our oil change special. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Valvoline Advanced Full Synthetic with an STP Extended Life oil filter for just $35.99. Get the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor. Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? I think my battery's dead. With free battery testing and charging, we can help you get back on the road.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
So what if I need a new one? We have the right Duralast battery for you, only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
And what about my old battery? We can recycle it right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hear that? The sound of water being poured on 800-degree rocks. If you were here in this sauna, you'd be so hot you wouldn't have the energy to move. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. Besides, after a long ride, a helmet sweat is way more satisfying. So if you ride, switch to Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer, without even breaking a sweat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. Number 3, Ohio State getting ready to take on Iowa this Saturday at 3:30. We just found out that the game the following week in Eugene against Oregon will be a 7:30 start time. Buckeye Roundtable comes your way tonight at 6. You can hear it in its entirety over on ESPN Columbus and until 6:45 here on The Fan. That's because pregame coverage of the Jackets begins as they continue the preseason against the Washington Capitals. Puck drop is at 7. Monday Night Football doubleheader tonight. The Dolphins hosting the Titans at 7:30. Then the Lions take on the Seahawks at 8:15. You can hear that one over on ESPN Columbus immediately following Roundtable beginning at 8. And NBA Hall of Famer Dikembe Mutombo has passed away at the age of 58. Roosters has given away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences, including tickets, sideline passes, a trip to a postseason game, and more. Register today at roosterswings.com.
It's Reaction Monday, where our highly trained experts talk football.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
Your home for reaction and overreaction, The Fan. True to his name, Matty Ice wears a winter coat in the middle of summer. He lives the gimmick, man. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, second hour of the program. We'll have Ben Brown on this hour. We'll talk to him about a lot of football. We got Tom Brady with maybe his best analysis so far. You'll hear that. And then we got the Deshaun meter. Listen, I think he's busting his butt for this team. I don't think that makes him a very smart quarterback in the clutch. He's physical. And you can tell he's leaving it out there. I mean, you should for $230 million. It's not like I want to give him that much praise, but I will tell you that game was there for the taking. It was. They had it. The play was there. And again, and Matty, maybe it's eerily similar to me. When he locked on in the last game, and then I think he locked on again this week at the end of the game. Like I saw against the Giants, plays there, 4th and 1, guys open. Oh, no, he's the decoy. Since when is there a written rule you can't throw to the decoy? Okay, and then this one where you have Amari pulling that little hitch, corner drops down, Akins is there. If you just loft it to him, he's a big body guy. He's going to make that play. And here's the most important thing I can tell you. It's 4th down. Let it fly. If you go back and look at that play, Deshaun is locked. He's loaded. He's ready. I had people tweeting me like, oh, well, the pressure got in his face and the pocket imploded. No. He had a clear view of Amari Cooper getting doubled. At that point, he's got to let that ball fly to Akins. And he doesn't do it. His hesitation, his decision-making right now is of serious question to me. Not his athletic ability or even his ability to throw a football. It's there. There's something unsure. There's something he doesn't trust. Now, should I err towards his offensive line? Can be really bad at times, and that's why he doesn't trust what's in front of him, and it's making him flinch. But at that moment, 4th down, there is no tomorrow. You have to throw that football.
I think he's not trusting what he's seeing, and I can't blame any quarterback for being hesitant in moments throughout a game to where you're constantly getting pressure in your face. And yesterday, without Max Crosby, the Las Vegas Raiders pressured the Browns, more specifically, Deshaun Watson 16 times. They had 16 quarterback pressures. And so when you lose your center in the game as well, after he left mid-game, you're talking about a unit up front that is just a shell of themselves. And so I think whether it would be Tom Brady, Joe Montana, when you know that, hey, I only have so much time to do things in the pocket, I can understand why he would be hesitant in moments. So the Browns up front, they've allowed double-digit pressures in all 4 of their games. So that's just a massive issue, and it doesn't help at all when you're hurting yourself, right? And Amari's dropping passes that hit him in the chest that turn into interceptions, and you have a missed extra point by Hopkins early in the game, which keeps you down 4, which alleviates or takes away the opportunity to kick a game-tying field goal late in the game. And so those type of things, those self-inflicted wounds that the Browns did yesterday are just so critical, right? You cannot have those when you're a team that does not have a bunch of wiggle room to be, because they're not a very explosive offense right now. And so when you're not that, you can't afford to have some of the mistakes that they had yesterday.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up those because they're all fair. I mean, I fast forwarded to the last play of the game, and like it or not, it's just where my mind went. But you're right, that play probably doesn't even filter in if Amari doesn't drop that ball right in his chest. Yeah. Like, and I know the holding call on Nick Harris, and you had, I think it was Ross Tucker on the game, that was talking about how almost phantom it was, and how, Garrett gets held like that on every play and they don't call it. You go back and look, the ref's looking right at him. He's waiting for him to release. And he does. And by the way, and I think Tucker said it right, it's the wrong hand. Like, it was unnecessary. It's right in the vicinity of the scramble. And he hung on for a hair too long. And that's the problem, is because when Watson scrambles and he hits Cooper for that touchdown and everyone's going nuts, and then you see the flag and you're just assuming it's holding, and on Nick Harris, it's just right in the vicinity of the scramble. So when that left hand hangs on for a hair too long and the ref's staring right at it, he's going to call it.
It was tough. That's a heartbreaking play for a Browns fan, because that is just a huge momentum swing with that Amari, what could be, what should have been a 80-yard touchdown.
Oh, yeah. What you're asking for there, and this is a tough ask, is for a ref to just, quote, let it go. Because if we're all being honest, he held him. But what we want to do is we want to look big picture, which makes sense. Well, that happens every play, and this guy was doing it, and that guy gets held all the time, and can't you just let that go because it wasn't egregious? I understand all that. But if someone just showed you that video and took the uniforms out of it and put all three of us in a room in a focus group and said, is that a hold?
It'd be holding.
We'd throw the flag.
Yeah, it'd be holding.
The only thing, it's the emotion of it, and it's your team, and I get it. The other thing is, and you mentioned it, I thought there were some very good plays in that game. I thought Emerson saved a touchdown at the end of the half with that tackle. He absolutely did. Alex Wright, don't get in the face of Minshew on a 3rd and 9 in a tie game. Okay. Was it horrible? No. But don't do it. Don't come up near his face mask like that. And like you said, Cooper, don't drop that ball right in your hands. That led to a touchdown by the Raiders, because Madison had that great 3rd and 9 run where you had missed tackles everywhere. And then the end around by Turner, and I'm not blaming Hickman on that. He took the only angle he could, I guess, but he got outran. It happens. I love the fact that McGuire blew up that play and JOK knocked it loose. Like, they did some good things. Hopkins, don't miss the PAT. Don't miss the PAT, and you don't need a touchdown at the end. You can get that game to overtime.
Absolutely, man.
So you had plays in that game, and I know it's easy to just, like I did, fast forward to the end, but Deshaun's the key. He is the key. I thought Ford had a great run on that drive. Awesome run. Great speed. But you mentioned Harris on the snap when Deshaun's not looking.
Such a bad.
And by the way, that ball could have rolled 15 yards back. He's lucky it hit him, and he was able to recover that. Yeah. So now you're in 2nd and long. But 4th and 3, and then the other thing that was weird that was going on at that time, and it didn't bother me when it happened, but I think Tucker pointed it out, was at 4th and 3, they called a timeout there. And so now it's all on that play with 41 seconds, because if you don't get it, you won't be able to rip off those 3 timeouts to get the ball back with 25 seconds left. Now, I doubt you're getting a touchdown, but at least you would have had a chance for a punt return or wherever you're going to get. But I go back to that play with Deshaun. It's happened 2 weeks in a row, and I hate to put it all in him because they thought he played a great game. He did. He's busting his butt for them. But it happened 2 times in a row on a 4th and short where there's a guy open, and he's looking that way, and he doesn't throw the ball to the guy. He's misreading the play for some reason.
Not seeing it clearly right now, and that's unfortunate. I think one thing that surprised me yesterday in a bad way for the Brownies was how Vegas was able to run at them the way that they did as a team. I mean, you're talking about them racking up 150-plus rushing yards in the game, and there was a handful of guys that ripped off, runs of 10 yards or more. And so that was surprising to me to see that. But on defense, I thought you wouldn't know that Myles Garrett was hurt. I mean, with the way that he played yesterday, that dude is really gutting it out. You're talking about in a game, the guy had 3 tackles, 3 quarterback hits and 2 sacks and 2 tackles for a loss. So Myles Garrett was just an absolute monster yesterday, and we know he's capable of doing that. But the defense is just required to do so much because offensively right now you're talking about back-to-back weeks to where you don't even get to 17 points on the scoreboard. I mean, you put up 15 last week against the Giants and 16 against the Raiders without their best defensive player. And so your highest output offensively this season is 18 points in a game. So you lose 33-17 to Dallas. You win 18-13 against Jacksonville. You drop one to the Giants last week with 15 and then 16 yesterday. So their ceiling offensively is just not very high. And so when you're talking about those critical moments, right, throughout a game, you can't make up for it the way that, like, the Bengals can right now. They're overcoming a bad defense because they have an explosive offense that they can go to that can pull them out of tough situations. And the Brownies right now, unfortunately, just don't have that.
It's well said. They don't. And you can't be the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, that strategy is not going to carry you. And this offense has been, you're right, at moments it looks explosive, and then at moments it does. Like, they light up, even the game against the Giants when you're, first play from scrimmage is that great ball, and you're like, okay, this is going to be a great day. And like, you get 7 that early. What'd they score against? They scored on the first play of the game, and they scored 15 points. Like, are you kidding me?
I know.
You scored on the first play of the game? Or whatever it was.
But that's the identity of Kevin Stefanski, especially as a head coach. He's very good at scripting that first series, and then it's just a bunch of nothing afterwards.
Comes to a halt after that. You got some decent news, I would call it, after the game, that the practice window now is opened up for Nick Chubb. Who knows what it looks like as far as when he's going to be ready for games. But also, it's just going to be a massive question mark of what he looks like when he is coming back onto the field. And will we see peak Nick Chubb when he's ready to suit up? But that will open things up for Deshaun Watson in this passing attack. But Nick Chubb's going to have to do his part and show that he can still do damage. That way teams have to come down and really put more bodies in the box and allow Judy and Amari to continue to potentially make splash plays down the field. So that, a great run game, as we all know, is just a really good friend of a quarterback. So that would be a massive lift if Nick Chubb could be Nick Chubb again soon.
We left this program on Friday with the news that Max Crosby and Davante Adams were not going to play. And it was lock city at that point. It felt like a must-win. The crowd was really good in Vegas because you're a Brownies fan. You tie that into a weekend in Vegas. Why not?
Absolutely.
There was a lot of orange and fudge in that crowd. And here's the more important point. I just thought you were better than them. And then you take their 2 best players off the field and you still can't beat them. Now the Raiders pulled it off at your place in Baltimore. Like, they may be the biggest anomaly going. Like, I mean, for them to lose to the Panthers and beat the Browns and the Ravens, like, it doesn't make it.
The NFL is drunk right now, man, with some of these results that we get week to week. But we laid the 2 with the Brownies prior to the injuries coming out because I just thought
glad
for
I
sure.
didn't go back to the well on that and just say you got to have more. But, because I like to do this. I like to look at the standings and say, okay, who are you better than? Who do I know? Even if your record's not as good as, who are you better than? And one of those was the Raiders. Like, I know you're better than Denver, but Denver goes to New York and wins in a stupid game.
Was ugly.
Without Tua, do I think you're better than Miami? Kind of. Not positive. Do I think you're better than New England? Yeah, I think so. So there are teams that are above the Browns that I pretty much know on any given Sunday they can win. But until they do it, man, they're in a weird spot. And then they get this team in Washington next that's got exactly what you're asking for, is an offense. And all of a sudden now they're very dangerous. All right, we come back. We did get a bounce back for Tampa. Tommy was on the call and probably his best analysis so far, and it wasn't even about the game. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
This promo is brought to you by Common Man and Timmy Hall's Ping Pong Game. The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman. The fall deals at Germain Honda of Dublin are beautiful. The 24 Civic LX, only $249 a month for 36 months. The 24 Accord LX, only $279 a month for 36 months. With 10,000 miles a year on the lease, $34.99 cash cap reduction, payments plus tax, tag, and document fee, and away you go. How about 0.9% up to 36 months on the 24 Prologue, the first all-electric SUV from Honda? For the best deal in town, Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road.
The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake. At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. Looking to upgrade? The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers and want you to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Is your business generating over $1 million a year in revenue? If your financial advisory team isn't keeping pace, maybe it's time for a change. Here's Brad Hennebert with Premier Advisors.
Thanks, Bobby. Our team integrates financial planning and asset management with business accounting and tax preparation. Business owners have planning needs that are unique. We work with you to design a seamless financial services bundle tailored to your business with monthly or quarterly advisory consultations to help guide you along the way. We don't just keep score of what happened last year. Our team combines expert financial planning and wealth management with top-tier tax services, helping businesses like yours build wealth for you. Call us today at 614-524-4888. That's 614-524-4888.
Brad Hennebert is a registered representative offering securities through United Planners Financial Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through TCP Asset Management LLC. Tax services offered through Premier Tax CPAs. United Planners is not affiliated with TCP Asset Management, Premier Advisors, or Premier Tax CPAs.
Common Man and T-Bone.
Everybody knows it. Tom Brady will fail because he sounds like a toddler. They got to run screen pass right here. I heard Santa's not even real at the Polar Express.
Common Man and T-Bone.
Sponsored by the Hinderer Motor Company.
Weekdays 3 to 6 on The Fan.
We are Ortho Alliance. Together, we deliver the most experienced orthopedic care near you and throughout Central Ohio. Together, we provide expert care when you need it with same-day and next-day appointments. We put our patients' care first, from physical therapy to the most challenging joint replacement surgeries. We are JIS Orthopedics, Ortho Neuro, Orthopedic Associates of Zanesville, Orthopedic Foot and Ankle Center, and Orthopedic Specialists in Sports Medicine. And we are better together. Visit orthoalliance.com or call 877-WE-ARE-OA.
Ohio, ready for some quick mental health facts? Let's go. Nearly 2 million Ohioans live with a mental health condition. In the U.S., more than 50% of people will be diagnosed with a mental illness in their lifetime. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide. So why are some of us still stigmatizing people living with a mental health condition when we know all of this? Let's listen to the facts and beat the stigma. Ohio, challenge what you know about mental health at beatthestigma.org.
After 31 years in Washington, just how much has Sherrod Brown changed? When he first wanted our vote, he said this:
"My allegiance will be to Ohio and to the communities in Ohio."
To Ohio? Sherrod Brown voted for amnesty for 11 million illegal immigrants, and he voted to give them taxpayer-funded benefits, like free health care to illegals who get amnesty, Social Security checks, COVID relief checks, all to be paid for by you. And Sherrod Brown's open border policies have led to more fentanyl, dangerous gangs, even terrorists pouring into our country. So when Sherrod Brown says this,
"My allegiance will be to Ohio and to the communities in Ohio,"
don't listen to what Sherrod Brown says. Watch what he does. Because Sherrod Brown doesn't vote for Ohio anymore. He's way too liberal for Ohio. American Crossroads paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. AmericanCrossroads.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Time now to get a look at that weather report. Today, cloudy along with a few showers, high 77. A little bit drier tomorrow, but we still maintain a 20% chance of rain, 79 on your Tuesday. And then the sunshine is back as high pressure strengthens. Look for a high of 73 on Wednesday under sunny skies. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
It's Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
I completely understand, when we break down the Browns on, because George tweeted at me, the dumb penalties and the drop passes, and he called the holding call phantom. I don't think it was phantom. It was just one that we've seen let go a million times. Problem is when the ref is staring right at you and your quarterback is scrambling that way and that defender is going to sell it a little bit too, then it was the perfect nightmare. And so the guy's going to throw the yellow hanky on the ground. But I just keep coming back to, have Browns fans been so beaten down by Deshaun Watson not looking like the guy they paid and trade all that they're lowering their expectation of him now? That, yes, he had his best game in terms of execution. Like, we've lowered the bar.
You have to, right?
Yeah.
It's just, based off of what you've seen from him and where I think a lot of people's minds were when they acquired him, the bar has been lowered. And I don't blame any Browns fan for doing that, because I think at this point, you're just tricking yourself thinking that he's going to flip some switch and go back to the guy he was years ago. I don't think that's coming back anymore. You just have to hope that what you've seen from him, his floor can be a little higher, because probably not a little, it needs to be a lot higher with what he's doing. But yeah, if you're a Browns fan, like, I can't knock you at all. I mean, we got a Browns fan right here. CB, where are you at? Like, as far as with your expectations and where they were to where they are now?
I mean, the expectation is still a good game for the quarterback, is still less than 200 yards and not very stellar play after the first drive. Honestly, it just feels like another lost season is coming and mock draft season is here. And like I always say, and a lot of fans say, December in Berea, it comes a little early this year at the end of September.
When you talk about the $230 million, right, AR, you're expecting your quarterback to be an aircraft carrier. That's what you're expecting. And you're expecting him to be a truck, not a trailer. And it seems more times than not throughout his tenure in Cleveland, he's been the trailer. And that's really unfortunate, because that is just such an anchor for a team, obviously financially, but psychologically, knowing coming in each week that, man, our quarterback is not going to be able to pull us out of situations or carry us to high heights. Just because he only gives you flashes. It's just not consistent.
There's only one dude, the last time I checked, that cost $230 million. Yeah. And that's the problem as far as, like, how we're judging him, because he played solid and he is not the problem, but he's one of them. Yeah. And he touches the ball on every play on offense. So no one's putting that game on him, because down 3 mid-third, Cooper's got to catch that ball. That cannot happen. At the very worst, incomplete, not a pick. Right. So it's 3rd and 8, so you get a chance to fight.
That ball hits you right in the chest.
I did go back and look at that a couple times during the game, and I'm not taking him off the hook, believe me. But there is someone that comes over and that kind of goes after the ball with a hand.
Yeah, but you practice
Did he get screened or not? I don't know. I agree. I don't want to make a big deal out of that. But he may be the main problem, and Deshaun, because he's not seen it in clutch moments. And sometimes, we used to say this in TV a lot. If you worked a 15-hour day and that 4.5 minutes of a sportscast went well, if the rest of your day went horrible and that 4.5 minutes went well, then you had a good day. If you had a great day for 10, 12 hours and that 4.5 minutes of that sportscast went bad, a tape didn't roll, whatever, or you stunk, then you had a bad day. And I'm looking at Deshaun. Yeah, he's played a lot of these games really well. But when I need him the most, when I need $230 million Deshaun at the end of a game, in a one-score game, then I got to judge you that way. Right. And he's just missed a couple. This is a very interesting story about Baker Mayfield here. We'll play him. By the way, he's playing catch-up now, out of context and all this. But it was an amazing moment. So Mayfield spoke on a subject a couple of weeks ago. He's appeared on a podcast, Casa de Club, up in the club. And he was talking about Brady's presence when he was playing in Tampa and leading them to a Super Bowl versus now what it's like with him leading the team.
The building was a little bit different with Tom in there. Obviously, playing-wise, Tom was different. He had everybody dialed in, high-strung environment, so I think everybody was pretty stressed out. So for me, and everybody was expecting the Bucs to not be good last year, so they wanted me to come in, be myself, bring the joy back to football a little bit for guys that weren't having as much fun, and just continue to raise the competition level. So they just asked me to be myself, and like as a player, you really can't ask for much more than that.
Get bodied, Tom.
Now that's Baker. Now those comments made for a very interesting setting in Tampa with Tommy calling the game for Fox. And of course, he was asked about those comments during the broadcast. Here's his response.
Our guy here said, quote, "They wanted me to come in, be myself, bring the joy back to football for guys who weren't having as much fun." It's funny because you've made this environment for me very stressful up here in the booth, so I understand where he's coming from.
Do you feel it?
No.
Feel the stress? No. Well, I was going to say, I thought stressful was not having Super Bowl rings. So there was a mindset of a champion that I took to work every day. This wasn't daycare. If I wanted to have fun, I was going to go to Disneyland with my kids.
Honestly, it's the best work he's done since he got in the booth.
I love this. I love it. And they spoke to each other prior to the game, I believe, yesterday.
Well,
I thought I saw that.
He's saying, Mayfield's now saying, I think a lot of it got taken out of context. I heard what I heard. None of it was personal, but
how can we take that out of context, Baker? You took a shot at Tom. A little shot at Tom. Just own it, big dog.
I wonder if what he meant to say was, I'm not Tom Brady. I can't be that guy. I can be what my strength is, which would have been a better way to say it. I'm not Tom Brady. I don't have the rings. I didn't have that rep. I'm not as good as him. I couldn't come in and have that.
Nobody's going to say that.
No,
nobody's going to completely.
Well, maybe not dunk on themselves, but what I'm saying is I think Baker could have come to that conversation saying, listen, I know exactly how Tom Brady commands a locker room. I had to go a different route. I have to bring my energy, my different personality, try to tap into the fun of football because I can't walk in a room and have instant whatever I say is going to be followed by my team. I think it would have been I think it would have been better.
What's interesting for me, AR, about what Baker said is he's obviously getting that from somebody or some bodies that were playing with Tom. So I don't think he's making that up. Could it be Mike Evans? Could it be Chris Godwin? I don't know.
Sure.
But here's what we do know. It worked. It worked. They won the ultimate prize, and it's not a surprise to hear that. I mean, think about where Tom came from and the guy that coached him and how he went about his business and just the Patriot way and all of those things. And think about how locked in Tom was to prove that, hey, it's not Bill Belichick. It's me during that window of time in Tampa. So a little bit of little pettiness.
I'm with you
on both sides, and I like it. I'm here for it. Tom's response is the ultimate response. I'm the GOAT. I won rings. I can have fun at Disneyland.
Yeah. Tom's arrogance is going to be a lot different than Baker's arrogance. They both can be arrogant. They both can have egos. And I think Baker was trying to maybe pat himself a little bit on the back while also saying that we are different and that, but you're right, pointing at how rigid and strict and how not fun. No, winning is fun. Winning's fun. We're doing it a different way. Maybe the guys are a little more freed up. Who knows? But he's playing a little catch up on that. So I always told you, these podcasts, you think you're just in a vacuum and they get out there. And maybe you want it out there. Who knows?
Good for us.
All right, guys, if you notice a lack of energy, motivation, and drive, could be low testosterone. You heard me talk about this earlier. Don't wait. Get checked. I know you're very curious of where you land on the scale. Go to the experts at Low T Center because they have over a decade of experience helping patients achieve life-changing results with testosterone therapy or TRT. And it's time for you to go get that test. If you've been putting it off for a long time, why do that? Why be tired? Why be petering out in the afternoon? Lack of motivation and drive and just not in the right frame of mind. And then you've noticed you've lost muscle mass, all that. The aging process is real. We get it, but they can help you. They have physician-monitored self-inject treatment that can ship directly to your house each month. So no need to come in for weekly visits once you're established. And at Low T Center, they're going to get you back to feeling your best. So do it now. Go to lowtcenter.com, lowtcenter.com, Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare. All right, Ben Brown up next. The Bengals have life. Does he agree? Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Three dudes who'll make you feel like the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah, we
Hey, Hornswoggle, you good. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
At APCO Windows, there's no 35% off sales, no buy one, get one free, just our best bottom line price. So get multiple estimates. Just make sure one is from APCO.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
Fox Tonight.
911, what's your emergency? 911, what's your emergency?
A train just derailed.
The 911 Lone Star season premiere event continues.
All companies fall back.
Then,
this is the most dangerous stretch of beach in the world.
Rescue High Surf is TV's hottest new drama.
2 fishermen on kayaks.
What's unconscious?
Getting dangerous.
I'm going in.
911 Lone Star and Rescue High Surf, all new.
Tonight starting at 8 on Fox 28.
With so much happening every day,
ABC6 News is on your side, helping you understand the events that impact your community.
Do you believe Columbus City Schools is in a PR crisis?
Central Ohio's most experienced team of reporters, persistent in getting answers to the questions you're asking.
Are you worried about how people are going to react?
And when you need us, ABC6 News is on your side, finding solutions.
6 on your side, they're the ones willing to answer the phone.
You can count on ABC6 News to be on your side.
Don't sweat it. Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your air conditioner fast. 1-800-COOLING.
Breaking news. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions apply.
Much like a vampire, we need to be invited into your house. But once we're in, we never leave. Listen to The Fan on your Alexa or Google Home smart speaker. Just say play 97.1 The Fan and prepare to be amazed. Do it now.
Toyota began a revolution over 20 years ago with this iconic name, the Prius. A revolution that proved there's more than one way to reduce your carbon footprint. Toyota believes the power of choice should be yours because it's not just battery EVs, fuel cells, and plug-ins. Toyota has more hybrid EVs than anyone else, including the best-selling Camry, RAV4, and the all-new Tacoma. Toyota is electrified, diversified, and the choice is yours. Toyota, let's go places.
Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically recession-proof.
My Computer Career even provides job placement help.
The career specialists, they're very helpful. They care about you as a person. You're not just a number to them. I would recommend My Computer Career wholeheartedly to anyone.
Take the free career evaluation today. Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
Come November, I'll need an ACA health insurance plan. And thanks to Health Markets, searching for a plan can be easier. When you go to healthmarkets.com, you can find a licensed insurance agent right in your area. They'll even take you through the plans in person. And their help doesn't cost you anything. That's what I like.
Discover the advantages of real personalized service today at healthmarkets.com. Health Markets Insurance Agency, Inc. is licensed as an insurance agency nationwide except in Massachusetts. Sales agents may be compensated based on a consumer's enrollment in an insurance plan. No obligation to enroll, paid after per trail.
At the Home Depot, we know you can't control everything, like when your guests arrive too early for Saturday college football. But you can control your grill. With the Traeger Timberline XL, you can watch the game, not the grill. Monitor your football feast from anywhere using the Traeger app. With the Timberline XL, you can bake, smoke, sear, fry, and saute. That's Desmond Howard level versatility.
Huddle up, the food's done.
Defend your game time with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Dog friendly. And if you ain't down with that, this is Rothman and Ice.
All right, nobody's getting rich betting the NFL. At least not yet. Ben Brown is with us. He's back on the show. NFL data science manager, ESPN Bet. Ben, good to have you, my friend.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me, guys. It's been a wild first few weeks, like you say, but it's always a pleasure to be able to hop on and talk some NFL football with you guys.
Something stinky about this early line with Baltimore only laying 2.5 at Cincinnati. Now, Cincinnati breathed some life into their season here, beating Carolina. But the Ravens looked all-world last night. What do you make of the Ravens laying less than a field goal at Cincinnati this week?
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting. I think, obviously, we want to talk about, small line movements and those sorts of things. But, getting up to 3 in today's NFL, it very much totals kind of depressed. It does seem like some of those key numbers matter a lot more. And it does seem like right now, bookmakers are hesitant to at least go to that full 3. It does introduce some push potential and those sorts of things. To me, I actually probably am kind of with you. I do think that it maybe would have moved a little bit more based on last night's performance. I think in some ways, once betting limits open up a little bit more as we move towards Tuesday and Wednesday, we could see the line move out further. But, I don't think, kind of looking at the Bengals schedule overall, I know, last week very much felt like a must-win game. They did get things done, setting up, going out here. It does seem like this maybe isn't at least as much of a must-win game for them, but still very much you'd like to see things kind of continue to progress in the right direction if you're a Cincinnati Bengals fan.
All right, Ben. So now here we are with the Minnesota Vikings cooking up a 4-0 record, 3 wins in a row against playoff teams from last year and a divisional win yesterday in Green Bay. I want to ask you about Sam Darnold because we were looking at his MVP odds earlier in the show. Would you advise me to maybe put a little sprinkle on Sam Darnold to win MVP? Are you a believer?
I mean, I'm a believer overall in the Minnesota Vikings. I do think, the start has very much been for real. Neutral site game this weekend against the New York Jets, who I would admit, kind of looked pretty bad in their matchup against Denver yesterday. I do wonder, as we get towards the end of the season, how season awards are going to kind of break out. To me, I do think there very much is a case for, Sam Darnold to be MVP. He's got basically the fifth shortest odds right now. In some ways, that seems like a pretty good market. I wonder, and my only question would really be, if they do kind of continue on at this pace, how much of it is actually, a benefactor of Kevin O'Connell being a legitimate, frontier type offensive mind, having the wherewithal to understand that he could win with a guy like Sam Darnold, moving on from Kirk Cousins at the right time. I know it's been, a magical ride for Sam Darnold. I'm just not quite sure or confident, given his current price, that some of that other stuff isn't going to go in Kevin O'Connell's direction as opposed to Sam Darnold at this point in time.
Ben, you think about this season, and I know it's early, but we're kind of getting a vision here that certain teams are better than they should be, like the Vikes, and some are worse than they should be, and I'm talking about the Jets. But now that Mahomes loses Rice potentially for the season, where do you go on the future now? Because the Bills, who looked amazing, get crushed last night. I'm leaning towards Maddie's Ravens at 8-1 to win it all right now. I think that's pretty good value.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't hate it. It's always going to be this thing with Mahomes, and kind of like the next tier of challengers. I, very much believe, as everyone should at this point, the AFC is just so much stronger than the NFC. But in sort of weird outcome type situations, a lot of weird things can happen in any one particular football game. So although the better team is very much going to come from the AFC, in the Super Bowl when we finally get there, I do think there's at least some case for maybe betting more on the NFC side of things and maybe letting the dust settle a little bit. I wouldn't maybe, overreact too much to the Baltimore Ravens. I do think offensively they showcased what they needed to do. In a lot of ways, shut down Josh Allen as well from the get-go. I do still have some concerns defensively with, them moving, obviously not having Mike McDaniel in the fold. I wonder, as they get on later on in the season, how they really are going to handle some of these high-octane offenses. We saw a glimmer of that yesterday, but long-term, can they kind of stop, Patrick Mahomes on the road come playoff time? Very much still a question. How will things happen in Buffalo as well? So I don't know. I look around. I think, the top 4 teams are very much clear from an AFC standpoint. To me, I think the NFC is a little bit more murky. Depending on where you kind of sit with the Detroit Lions, I think they very much have, a showcase type game tonight. they are sitting at, the sixth shortest odds, second shortest from the NFC standpoint. And if you at all think the 49ers are vulnerable, I think the Lions are maybe a little bit more of that mid-tier type price with a really clear path to get to the Super Bowl, more so than any of, I would say, the second echelon of teams in the AFC right now.
You mentioned the Detroit Lions. I want to ask you about their opponent tonight because they're an undefeated football team right now in the Seattle Seahawks. I haven't caught them yet. I haven't been able to watch one of their games, Ben. How has Seattle been able to get off to a good start so far?
Yeah, I do think a lot of it is the influence of Mike McDonald defensively. To me, they had an accumulation of a lot of draft picks over the past few seasons. In some ways, we were kind of questioning, specifically if they did have some hits along on some of those picks, specifically at the offensive line. But I think defensively, they've kind of answered the bell. Tariq Woolen is still very much developing into one of the best cover corners in the NFL. And I think overall, defensively, they're definitely where they need to be. And I think tonight for them in particular, it's going to come down to, how explosive are they offensively? That's kind of where they've had to live. Obviously, a lot of DK Metcalf over the top, has kind of been what's really been productive for them. Dealing with some, injuries and those sorts of situations at the running back position. But I think, when they are fully healthy, the Seahawks are very much, kind of that team that could very much sneak away with the NFC West if the 49ers don't figure things out. I kind of liked them there in the preseason. I think in a lot of ways they have lived up to that expectation. And tonight, I think we're going to get a really interesting glimmer into, what one of these two NFC teams could potentially be the one to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl when it's all said and done.
I want to hit you up about Jaden Daniels because this guy seems to be figuring it out over the last couple of weeks. I saw Damian Woody today said, Ben, that he believes that he's the best quarterback in the NFC right now. Do you agree with that take?
That is a strong take, to be honest with you. It has really, it's only been basically 4 games. I don't know if I would necessarily crown him there yet, but, we've seen, in a lot of ways he's caught on, maybe even quicker than what CJ Stroud did last season, opening things up a ton, both from a rushing and a passing standpoint. And it does seem like, overall, this Commanders rebuild happened a lot quicker than a lot of people expected. And I do think the defense, deserves a lot of kudos. But to me, they very much answer the call on Jaden Daniels. He does look like an absolute hit. For him to be the best quarterback in the NFC, I think probably most dynamic for sure. Overall, to win a playoff game right now, I think I would maybe still go in like Brock Purdy's direction along with a couple other guys. But I do think, even towards the end of the season, maybe next year, that is very much a title that he could, lay claim to relatively easily.
All right, final 15 seconds, Ben. Give me your picks tonight. Miami's 2.5 favorite over Tennessee. Detroit's a 4-point favorite over Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough not to like the Titans in an ugly one. And I do think the Seahawks probably keep this game close. I do think we do see some explosive plays from the Seahawks when that does happen. I do think we're going to get over that total as well. So give me Seahawks over, Titans under. But it should be a fun doubleheader of Monday Night Football, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yep, thanks, my man. ESPN bet, Ben Brown, data scientist, manager there. I honestly, that line seems very stinky, but this the Baltimore-Cincinnati. The fact that the Ravens are only laying less than a field goal at Cincinnati this week, boy, what do they know?
Vegas always knows.
It's a division rivalry. I get it. Maybe it's the desperation I always talk about, where Cincinnati cannot lose another one. They know this. And if they win it, the narrative completely changes because they just checked their odds to make the playoffs. Yeah. So remember when I couldn't quit them at 0-3 and I got plus 210 or whatever that is? Bengals, just by beating Carolina, are now down to plus 110.
There we go.
You're still getting plus money, so they still think it's an underdog.
I can't wait to see this game. It should be a fun atmosphere. Real quick, since you brought up the Bengals, shout out to Chris Jenkins, the rookie. I thought you could feel his presence on that defensive line yesterday. So if that's going to be a thing, that'll hopefully get their defense headed in the right direction because he was making impactful plays yesterday.
All right, Buckeye Bolton up next. Speaking of spreads, how big is it against Iowa? I'll let you know next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. I just freaked the hell out of someone. The Fan. Get an Eco.
Hey, Aaron. Hey, Jerry. As much as I enjoy being a professional inventor, a few of my dream inventions still elude me.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
Well, the bruiseless avocado.
Ooh.
The unlosable TV remote.
Could change the world.
And for you, Aaron, the uncloggable drain.
Get Eco.
ECO. Until you crack it, Jerry. You know our 93 or free drain clearing offer is the next best thing.
Okay, explain yourself.
Get Eco.
ECO. Our drain team will clear your drain for just $93. If we can't clear it, it's free. And we guarantee it'll stay clear for at least a year, or we will clear it again for free.
Get Eco.
ECO. We'll even send our little robot camera down there to make sure you don't have a larger problem that could cause more trouble in the future.
Get Eco.
ECO.
You think your guys could bring that robot over to my place and help me find that TV remote?
I think that's impossible even for us.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco, plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Attention Ohio pizza restaurant owners. Tired of glitchy point-of-sale systems slowing you down? Meet Hunger Rush, Ohio's favorite pizza POS. With reliable hardware, an easy-to-use system, and 24/7 customer support, Hunger Rush speeds up your operations and boosts repeat orders by up to 10%. This is the restaurant point-of-sale built for pizza. Easily manage your drivers, easily take orders online, easily train your staff in minutes, and easily make modifications. Need to talk to a real person? That's easy too. Top Ohio pizzerias are winning with Hunger Rush. Solutions to help you streamline service, optimize workflows, and maximize profits. Join the thousands of successful restaurants transforming their operations with Hunger Rush for $0 down and $0 a month. Tools for menu management, marketing, customer engagement, and increased upsells, all in one simple platform. That's Hunger Rush, Ohio's favorite pizza POS. Schedule your free no-obligation demo at ohiopos.com. ohiopos.com. ohiopos.com.
Guess what? Our ugly faces are on YouTube. Search 971 The Fan and watch all your favorite shows. Laptop, phone, tablet, smart TV, we're everywhere. Bring us in the bedroom with you. Yes, The Fan.
The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake. At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. Looking to upgrade? The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers and want you to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more.
Ohio, ready for some quick mental health facts? Let's go. Nearly 2 million Ohioans live with a mental health condition. In the U.S., more than 50% of people will be diagnosed with a mental illness in their lifetime. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide. So why are some of us still stigmatizing people living with a mental health condition when we know all of this? Let's listen to the facts and beat the stigma. Ohio, challenge what you know about mental health at beatthestigma.org.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Progressive presents Renters MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Emily Neal's 70-inch TV. Because after watching her second-grade students yell at each other for hours, there's nothing Emily enjoys more than watching super rich housewives also yell at each other. Why? Because those women are not her responsibility. And that's why her TV is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another furnace breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day furnace installation.
All right, a little Buckeye Bulletin time for you. Maddie, do you know the spread?
Oh, no, I don't.
Okay, good. Makes the game more fun. Let's play Guess the Spread. I was very wrong on the Bengals Ravens because when I guessed, I thought they'd be laying like 6.5. But
so we had Buckeyes went on the road this past weekend, and what? It was 23.5. Am I remembering?
23.5 on the road.
Iowa coming into town off a bye week. I'm going to say Ohio State is favored by 21.
Very close, 20.5, Ohio State. And so it's under a key number, under that third touchdown number. It's pretty robust. I mean, this is just a sign of the times of how good Ohio State is. But this is going to be a nice deal for them, taking on Iowa. The season has ramped up. Whatever the season is, at least it's ramped up. It's getting their attention now every week. And so they'll be coming back home and no chance to relax with Iowa coming in. But, yeah, it's 20.5. And, listen, the over-under is 44.5, so they expect it to be a pretty low-scoring game. And we talked about...
that's what Iowa likes to do, right? It's just one of those games where they shouldn't challenge Ohio State through the air that much. So I think this is going to be on the front seven to not allow the Iowa rushing attack to move the chains. So they're going to have to punch them back in the mouth with their physicality because Iowa's second to last in the conference right now in passing yards per game. So it's not a strong suit for them at the moment.
And it's Caleb Johnson, a kid from Ohio, coming to the shoe, coming off a 200-yard game. He's going to want to make his presence felt. And like you said, that feeds into exactly what they are. But you're exactly right. They bombed Minnesota, but it wasn't through the air. It was just hammering Caleb, playing good defense, because it's not like Minnesota wasn't throwing the ball all over the place. They were with Brosmer. He had a couple of picks, but yeah, this is a nice little irresistible force versus the immovable object kind of a feel to it. But you're right. End of the day, it's still 20.5, which is fairly big. Ohio State coming off that big game. Of course, the highlight was Jeremiah Smith and that TD catch that sparked him.
And I thought Chip was aggressive, did a really good job of calling him. And Devin stepped up in a big way, came in for Will and delivered that throw. But, I mean, what an unbelievable catch. I mean, I couldn't believe he caught it. Just a tremendous play. But then I thought we came out in the second half, too, and continued that because 28-7 at half. And we wanted to get the thing to at least 35. And, I think when you come out and you can get a 3-and-out, or I don't know if it was exactly a 3-and-out, and then get the ball back and score another touchdown. It just it flips the game, and I thought that was kind of where the game turned.
It did turn because it was 17-7, but I'll tell you, I'm going to go back to the series before that, which we didn't talk about at the beginning of the show, which was when Michigan State had a 3rd and 11, and this is the difference between Michigan State and Ohio State outside of the talent. It's the inability to be able to call something creative enough, because they called a screenplay and they had decided to not block Caleb Downs, of all people.
That doesn't sound smart.
2 receivers, one in the slot, one split left, and they're going to throw a screen to the guy that's split outside, and then the slot guy is going to go block his guy. Well, the guy that's covering the slot guy is Caleb. So you're picking your poison there on the outside guy, not the inside guy, which is just insane to me. And he blows up that play, and it leads to the fact that Ohio State can go down there and get points. And it was a great defensive play. He read it correctly. It's also the ability of Ohio State to feel like they can play aggressive against Michigan State. They weren't worried about Aiden Childs that much. It should be very similar this week as far as how you play in certain situations, because that's 3rd and 11, and Downs is just on it. He's ready. He's not backpedaling. He's ready to go.
He had a good game, man. You really felt his presence throughout the night. Caleb Downs was as advertised, right? Like, I think, to me, that was probably his best game as a Buckeye. Not that he's had bad games leading into this, but just collectively what he was able to do up at East Lansing. The dude was absolutely locked in. And just going back to Jeremiah, it's eye-opening to see how well-rounded this guy is already and where he's going to be, not only in the years to come, but when we get 2-3 weeks from where we are now, because of just the game has to be slowing down for him, and this guy's just learning on the fly, right? Playing against Big Ten opponents and playing against Division I opponents as a kid, essentially, right? Like, he's just a young guy still learning, but he's got the physical traits to do it all. And that one-handed catch was just absolutely crazy, and that's not going to be the last time we see those spectacular plays from him. But even outside of the spectacular plays, we've seen him just do some of the fundamental things really, really at a high level this year. And so that, I think, is just, he's got such a safe floor because of just how fundamentally sound the dude is as a receiver. So we heard about it all offseason. We didn't get to see much, obviously, behind closed doors. But, yeah, all the hype is it's definitely justified and warranted because this dude's he's one of those one-of-one type of guys.
Speaking of, here's Jeremiah Smith talking about his first 4 weeks.
I feel like I advanced a lot, just learning defenses, understanding what people are doing and stuff like that on the defensive side of the ball. And I feel like I learned a lot, just not only because of me, it's Coach Hartline helped me a lot and learning a lot of new things just coming into college.
It's crazy.
He's a 18-year-old kid who's got talent off the chart. He's had people call him a first-rounder on this show and others as an 18-year-old kid.
Yeah.
He's got all the tools, like you said, 6'3", 215, but it's this part of it. And he comes into a team, and this is the beauty of it. He's not just coming into any team. He's coming to a team that's been humbled and that is hungry and that is all in. So he can be a focal point of the offense without being the focal point of the team.
And that's great. It's a great formula to have, and especially when he has a big brother in his room, Eddie Mecca, who can not only show him, he can show him mentally, physically, in the film room, everything you need to do to play at a high level. So I think that's great as well, is to have a guy that can take a little off his plate week to week, but still allow Jeremiah to get his. So those guys just working hand in hand together all season is going to be fun to watch. But yeah, it's just laughable when you see a guy come in and do these things that he's doing as a freshman. And this is only the beginning.
CB, let's spin a quick one with Will Howard coming back from that pick.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we didn't bat an eye. Again, I made a bad decision, and things happen, and nobody batted an eye. Everyone still got all the faith in the world in me, and I didn't really bat an eye. Nobody. It didn't faze anyone, and we just came right back. And those fourth down balls, those conversions were huge.
So what happens when you have a team around you and you don't feel like you have to be the guy to make everything right all the time? And so he's playing so he can have a short-term memory when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, and I think that comes with being a vet, right? Not being, maybe a young guy gets caught up in the moment and allows things to spiral and go downhill. Will's been there, done that. He knows mistakes are going to happen, and he knows, hey, I'm the captain of the ship, so I got to lock back in.
All right, that is your Buckeye Bulletin for today. When we come back, top of the hour, we'll get into a deep dive. The third hour will include Ian Fitzsimmons. We'll talk about the heavyweight fight with Georgia and Bama, but up next, is it time to sell high on a certain team? Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If you're starting your day any other way, you're doing it wrong. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekdays starting at 6.
The Fan.
If you're struggling with ED or your performance is down and your belly fat is growing, listen up. You've got one life. Now is the time to act.
At the Columbus Men's Clinic, we're not just healthcare, we're your secret weapon. Don't wait another day. Here's why you need to act right now.
Every moment you delay, your condition could worsen. It's not just about sex, it's about your heart, your relationship, your life.
The Columbus Men's Clinic has over 10 years of proven results for low testosterone and increasing drive, energy level, and performance. We've introduced ED and enhancement treatments so exclusive, you'll wonder why you waited.
Procrastination is the thief of time. When it comes to your sexual health, you can't afford to wait. Join the League of Gentlemen who've walked out of our doors with a swagger.
Call the Columbus Men's Clinic at 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. Book your $99 male performance consultation now, including blood work. Call 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. The Columbus Men's Clinic, making it happen.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, this is Tracy from Custom Air. With school back in session, now is the perfect time to schedule your HVAC maintenance. Keep your system running smoothly with a Custom Air maintenance plan. It's one less worry this school year. Visit CustomAirCo.com. Custom solutions, custom comfort, Custom Air.
Columbus, the wait is over. Blue Jackets hockey is back. Come feel the boom all season long. Be here Tuesday, October 15th for the home opener, presented by Nationwide. Get your tickets today at BlueJackets.com.
At Roof Revivers, we save not only your roof, but your money too. Whether you need a quick repair or a full replacement, we've got you covered. While many companies jump straight to replacements, we always start with repairs. Replacements, that's our last resort. We'll provide a clear, detailed explanation of what your roof needs, complete with photos, so you know exactly why. With over 350 five-star reviews on Google, honesty is at the heart of everything we do. Roof Revivers is ready to work for you. Visit RoofRevivers.com today. Roof Revivers, we fix leaky roofs.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or two half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you ready to unleash the beast? Monster Energy is here to give you the edge this college tailgate season. Loaded with bold flavors, our powerful blend gives you the energy you need to push you beyond your limits. Tune in all season long with Monster, the energy drink of ESPN Radio College Football Tour. Power your performance with a drink that's as hungry for victory as you are. Crack open an ice-cold Monster and dominate your competition. Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. Grab yours today. Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. It's going to be a busy night on The Fan and ESPN Columbus. Buckeye Roundtable comes your way tonight at 6. The guys will get you ready for the Iowa game this Saturday at 3:30. We found out earlier today that the Oregon game will be a 7:30 kick on NBC. You can hear Roundtable in its entirety over on ESPN Columbus and until 6:45 here on The Fan. That's because pregame coverage of the Jackets begins as they continue the preseason against the Washington Capitals. Puck drop over at Nationwide is at 7 p.m. A Monday Night Football doubleheader tonight as well. The Dolphins hosting the Titans at 7:30. Then the Lions take on the Seahawks at 8:15. You can hear that one over on ESPN Columbus immediately following Roundtable at 8. NBA Hall of Famer Dikembe Mutombo has passed away at the age of 58. This one brought to you by Whiskey War from High Bank Distillery. Drink local, drink High Bank.
1, 2, 3. Football season is weird because we actually look forward to Mondays. It's Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan. Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Maxima Concrete. Visit MaximaConcrete.com today to schedule your free estimate.
All right, final hour of the program. Maddie, a little update on the Fantasy Baseball Championship. It's circling the drain as we speak. The worst nightmare is happening with Schwellenbach just mowing them down. But I will tell you something that happened last inning that I haven't seen in a long, long time. Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's a name I haven't heard for a long time. Taylor hit a foul ball, like one of those where you put so much spin on it, kind of screwballs into foul ground, and it looked like almost he had torn the cover a little bit. I don't know what happened. That ball went 5 yards out, like to the right of the first baseline, and spun.
Came back
into fair territory.
Wow.
And he beat out the play.
That's insane.
The pitch, he had probably thought it was foul for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Beats out the play, gets to first, steals second while the pitcher is still in the how in the world did that ball go fair mindset.
Right.
And they couldn't get him home because, and I was going to buy, I told CB this during the break, if Frankie Lindor would have had an RBI single there, I would have bought a jersey.
Frankie.
And I'm not a big jersey guy, as you know.
I've never seen you in a jersey.
I had them. Right. I don't have them anymore.
You got that nice Vikings quarter zip on today, baby.
That's right. That's right. So anyway, this is where it stands right now.
Yeah.
I knew that the ace would come back to haunt me eventually, and I lose Rashee Rice probably for the year. Is that known yet? Is it a torn ACL? I think they're waiting on what they probably are already thinking.
No, they're just saying more tests are being taken right now, and that he is not expected this week.
Okay.
Well, I'm not gonna. I mean, I'm rooting for him obviously to get to be okay, but I mean, the one thing you probably think to yourself is, if it's not torn, how long would he be out for? Who knows? It looked so bad. And it got me thinking two things. One, does Kansas City, if this is the worst possible and he's out for the year, how in the world are they going to win a three-peat? He is the number one receiver. I know they have Xavier Worthy, and he caught a touchdown pass this weekend, But we just got done talking about Kelsey and how little impact he's had so far. The Kansas City Chiefs are still the favorite to win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And they may have just lost their number one wide receiver.
You know why?
15.
Not only that, Big Red. You got Andy Reid, the mind that can put things in order and get an offense to still have good flow. I'm not putting it past them to still play and win at a high level and win a bunch of games. And then you pair that with what is a solid defense as well. They have a really safe floor. Now, is the ceiling as high? Obviously not. When you take the blows of Pacheco and then Rashee Rice, you're talking about, your two best offensive playmakers right now with the way Kelsey has looked, even though he looked pretty good yesterday in the game and put together a nice little stat line. But yeah, there's no question that this is a team now that is a little limited, but to me, they're still a terrifying team to deal with. That's just how I'm going to view it, just because of what I think Andy Reid can do as a play caller. Like we saw this from Matt LaFleur with Malik Willis for a couple weeks. When you have a coach that knows what he wants to do and has an offensive identity that can go out there and still do their thing and have a good structure, your team's going to be fine. Your coach is like that as well. Kevin O'Connell, he did it last year with backups. He's doing it now with a guy that we all know isn't that good or great, but he's good enough. And so I think when you have Mahomes and when you have Andy Reid, I still think they're going to find a way to be an impactful offense.
Would you bet them to win the Super Bowl?
Oh, boy.
At 5.5 to 1.
Right now?
I wouldn't, based on no one's ever three-peated and the fact that they've lost their number one running back and their number one wide receiver. I guess the running back, Pacheco, is going to come back at some point.
They were saying about 8 weeks, I thought I saw. Could be back.
I just
in about
think
8
there's
weeks.
better value elsewhere. It doesn't mean that I think the Chiefs stink. It just might be time to start looking around the board when we were talking to Ben Brown earlier.
Yeah.
I'm with him on Detroit's looked okay so far. They haven't looked all world, but I expect them to be there in the end. I do. And at 12 to 1 to win it all, if they win tonight, that number probably dips a little bit.
What about the Minnesota bleeping Vikings?
The fact that the Vikings have the same odds as the Detroit Lions to win the Super Bowl is criminal. That's not that. Trust me. Why
is it criminal though?
They're not winning the Super Bowl.
Listen, I'll say this:
the Lions, I think, really could.
I know that that's your team, and I can understand the pessimism because it's your team. Here's what I'll say though: they have the structure of a team. Their talent is Super Bowl ready outside of the quarterback. To me. Their defense is really good. You had Jordan Addison have an impactful game yesterday. You're getting Hawkinson back, and you have the best receiver in the league. And so this isn't like some roster that I'm looking at and saying, yeah, it's just I don't see talent there. I see high-end talent. And what Brian Flores is doing right now as a defensive coordinator, it's awesome. So I understand right now you're probably like, we can't win the Super Bowl, but I think at what point would you be really ready to go down that road with them? What more would they have? I mean, you guys beat the Texans, the Niners, and the Packers 3 weeks in a row.
Getting to the Super Bowl, if they won the division, you could talk me into saying that maybe they could. I don't even know why I'm entering in this conversation.
Because it's real.
I'll give up pizza if they make it to the Super Bowl.
CB, clip that. Because you know this man
Should I change it to
pizza.
winning the Super Bowl?
No, you know this man loves pizza. He said he'll give up pizza if they make it to the Super Bowl. The NFC's not that crowded, AR. It's not. It's not that crowded. So I would be, I'm on board with that potential. I don't know what else I need to see. Like, I can't set the bar at, you got to beat Kansas City. Like,
I'm with you on
what they've done the last 3 weeks is really impressive.
Beating the Niners without CMC, going into Lambeau and winning against a rusty Jordan Love,
and beating Houston.
But their defense is real, and they pounded Houston, just pounded them, and they blitzed and blitzed. I will tell you, I told you this earlier. I'll enter into this kind of talk about how real they are. And I'm putting them at a crazy, stupid expectation. Be 6-0. No, I'm serious. Beat Detroit at home, which they probably maybe be favored to do.
Maybe
coming back from London if they beat Aaron Rodgers. But it's a great start. I don't want to dismiss it. The defense is so much better than I thought. All right, back to Kansas City.
Yeah.
Because Schefter dropped something about Cincinnati not just sitting around saying we have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid like we just did. Everything will be fine.
Right.
that win over the Chargers comes at a massive cost because they believe that Rashee Rice has suffered a season-ending ACL injury in the first quarter. And they rallied from an awful start. They wound up pulling out a 17-10 win. They're 4-0, so they've built this cushion. They are back-to-back defending Super Bowl champions. There are only 2 undefeated teams to start the season. We know who the other one is. We just spoke about him. But this injury, especially how devastating this would be. Because remember this, they've already lost Hollywood Brown, and they've already lost Pacheco, as I mentioned. It's not to say they're incapable of doing this because their defense has stepped up. And they still have Mahomes and Kelsey, like you said. And Xavier Worthy caught a great touchdown pass this week. But if we want to talk about them as the first ever three-peat, they may not be able to just say we are who we are.
Well, let's say this. The Chiefs, Greeny, in other years have been very aggressive in this particular area. In each of the last 2 years, they have added a wide receiver before the trade deadline. They did it 2 years ago with Kadarius Toney. They did it again last year with McCole Hardman. And I would imagine that they'll make calls. And so when you start to make calls and you're in the position that the Chiefs will be with a strong record, you're going to be looking for teams that clearly have records that are not up to par, teams that'll be looking to add draft capital, knowing that the playoffs are realistic, players who could be in the last year or final years of their contract. So I think the first thoughts are you go to a team like Tennessee. It's in Miami tonight. It's trying to save its season. If they keep losing and they don't get their season turned around, could they eventually trade a guy like DeAndre Hopkins? The Browns have won one game. Would they be willing to entertain a trade for Amari Cooper? I think of Carolina and Deontay Johnson if they don't start winning football games. Deontay Johnson's in the last year of his contract. And so these situations begin to clear up as we get into October, as we get closer to the trade deadline, and as teams start losing more games, because the more games they lose, the more likely they are in a few weeks to be listening to offers from a team like the Chiefs.
Makes a lot of sense to me. And it's the job, I believe, of a GM. When you have the guy that he has, you go all in every year, as all in as you possibly can. And so you're off to a 4-0 start. And I think Schefter makes a lot of sense there. And we know on the Cleveland side of things, when it comes to Coop, they were willing to trade him to San Francisco for the Brandon Ayuk stuff. That was out there, that he was going to be a part of that deal. So,
but at least they were getting a number one back.
No question, right? But I'm just saying, I guess in their minds, they've already been willing to trade Amari Cooper. But to your point, there was a really good asset coming back.
Age-wise, that made sense.
Ton of sense, right? 100%. So if I'm Kansas City, no question. Like, I'd be all in on doing that. And so, yeah, they're not going to get Devontae Adams. You're not getting the division rival is not giving you Devontae Adams. That's just not going to happen unless you just completely blow them away with some type of draft capital or whatever that's going to look like. But
which they do have a lot. They got a 1, a 2, 2/3. I mean, they've got some. The problem is they don't have a lot of cap space, and so that will be interesting. Who would you like him to have, Hop or Coop?
I'm rolling with Coop all
day. Both on the wrong side of 30.
Yeah, I'm rolling with Coop all day. I know you had a rough day yesterday with the drop and all that, but I like where Coop's at because I really like that fit for San Francisco. Because you mentioned the age. That's a win now move. It's a win now move and a guy that I believe absolutely can raise the ceiling of Kansas City's offense. He goes over there. That'd be a good look.
It would make more sense because the holdup on Hop would be his cap number. And so the Chiefs would have to work some magic there. There's another guy. There's a couple other guys that we can talk about real fast, but I don't think Carolina's going to give up on Deontay Johnson. There are some other guys that are younger. They might. Yeah. If you're the Browns, wouldn't you just call them up and say you can have Elijah Moore? At this point,
I don't know if that's what.
Well, I think his father probably once said. I don't know if you saw that yesterday, but he did tweet a target that was thrown to Elijah and said only one.
Oh God!
Yeah,
he's pulling an Odell like an Odell.
Times a flat circle. Yes, we're back.
This is actually a family member, not calling himself Leroy Bickerstaff.
Goodness gracious!
So the Jets lost an absolute nightmare of a game. Rodgers loses to Bo Nix, and when we come back, I don't know how long this is going to last, this Rodgers-Saleh, because they're at each other again in dueling press conferences. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 2 trips to a Buckeye postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
We're dealing at Rakert Ford.
$2,500 low price guarantee.
With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car. Thousands of vehicles are waiting at RakertFord.com. We're dealing.
Hi, Bob and Teresa Capace here for Worthington Jewelers.
Join us for our semi-annual bridal sale.
Featuring our BOGO, buy one, get one 50% off on engagement rings, wedding bands, or wedding sets. Worthington Jewelers, where Columbus gets engaged.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Is your business generating over $1 million a year in revenue? If your financial advisory team isn't keeping pace, maybe it's time for a change. Here's Brad Hennebert with Premier Advisors.
Thanks, Bobby. Our team integrates financial planning and asset management with business accounting and tax preparation. Business owners have planning needs that are unique. We work with you to design a seamless financial services bundle tailored to your business with monthly or quarterly advisory consultations to help guide you along the way. We don't just keep score of what happened last year. Our team combines expert financial planning and wealth management with top-tier tax services, helping businesses like yours build wealth for you. Call us today at 614-524-4888. That's 614-524-4888.
Brad Hennebert is a registered representative offering securities through United Planners Financial Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through TCP Asset Management LLC. Tax services offered through Premier Tax CPAs. United Planners is not affiliated with TCP Asset Management, Premier Advisors, or Premier Tax CPAs.
There's nothing like having Common Man and T-Bone resting on your bosom.
Oh, for someone with no breasts, you've done very well for yourself.
Gross. Pick up the latest T-shirt in the Fan store or pick up merch from a show you actually like. We even have Ohio State and jacket stuff. Head to 971thefan.com.
Columbus, the wait is over. Blue Jackets hockey is back. Come feel the boom all season long. Be here Tuesday, October 15th for the home opener, presented by Nationwide. Get your tickets today at BlueJackets.com.
Protect yourself, Ohio. Get your shots for COVID and flu today. A message from the Ohio Departments of Health and Aging.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Democrats will do anything to win. Changing the rules, mail-in ballots, cheating, and even opening our borders, all to win at any cost. Now they have a new scheme, Issue 1. Issue 1 would create a redistricting commission aimed at overturning key protections against gerrymandering in Ohio. Protections approved by over 70% of Ohio voters to prevent this exact kind of political manipulation of voting districts. And the members of this mysterious commission are backed by foreign special interest groups. They're unelected, unaccountable, and completely beyond voter control. If they abuse their power, there's no way to vote them out or hold them responsible. Their only purpose is to take control of Ohio's politics and turn the state from red to blue. This isn't democracy, it's deception. Don't let the Dems continue to rewrite the rules to rig the system in their favor. Protect Ohio's voice. Vote no on Issue 1. Paid for by Ohio Works.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Here's a look at that weather report on your Monday. Cloudy along with showers, high 77. We're still dealing with the remnants of Helene today and possibly tomorrow, although Tuesday will be the drier of the 2 days. 79 tomorrow, along with a 20% chance of rain. Sunshine is back by Wednesday and Thursday. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by the Lachey Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, complete nightmare for the New York Jets. But before that, Bet365 time.
Yes, sir, because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. See for yourself when you sign up today and get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. I'm looking at this Dolphins-Titans matchup tonight. Could be a stinky one.
They're paying you to watch it?
Could be a stinky one. And you know my rule. You know your team's in trouble when they throw up a graphic and put a couple players up there and your team doesn't have a quarterback up there. That's where the Dolphins are at. They've been showcasing Tyreek Hill instead of Snoop Huntley or Skylar Thompson. I believe Tyler Huntley's playing tonight at quarterback. So this could be an ugly watch, especially with Will Levis on the other side. But I'm looking at Tony Pollard. And I'm going to go with a Tony Pollard anytime touchdown. CB shaking his head. He doesn't like that, but I like it. So I'm rolling with it. Plus 137. Give me the juice on that. Tony Pollard's getting in the box, baby.
All right, I'm going to do a conservative same-game parlay on Bet365. And remember, you do that, you get the 50% boost.
Here we go.
On what you bet. So I'm going to go Kenny Walker coming off his injury, probably still splitting time. I'll go under 55.5 rushing yards with Kenny Walker. I'll have Goff to throw a TD pass, 1.
Okay.
I'll have Amon-Ra with at least 3 catches.
Wow.
And I'll have them both scoring 10 points. You know I love that. Plus a field goal. I love that. 1 field goal. That gets me to plus 140, and I get the 50% boost. So it's pretty conservative, but I'm going on the game that I'm at least going to be interested in watching.
I like it. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only. Must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
It's not a complete mental hedge on Kenny Walker, CB, only because he is coming off his injury, and I've heard them talk about splitting time in this first game. So it's kind of half. All right, the Jets had this golden opportunity to go 3-1. This is the most unprepared, unacceptable, undisciplined result here, losing to Denver at home. Didn't Aaron Rodgers say after that game was a Thursday, said, now we got the open weekend, we got all this time and all that deal. This was as ugly as it gets. Aaron Rodgers has the knack of being able to draw his own offensive line offsides with his incredible cadence.
That ain't good.
And he's done that about 4 or 5 times in this game, or he did it about 4 times during the game. So I guess Saleh went to the press conference and talked about that. And then when Rodgers came in, he got that question.
The cadence specifically, Robert said that might be something you guys have to dial back a little bit. Is that something you think could potentially help the situation?
It's one way to do it. The other way is hold them accountable. I mean, we haven't had an issue. We've had 1 false start. Morgan had 1 false start, I believe, until this. So, you know, it's been a weapon. We use it every day in practice. We rarely have a false start. And to have, 5 today, it seemed like, 4 or 5. Yeah, it seems like an outlier. I don't know if we need to make mass changes based on, kind of an outlier game.
That's one way to do it, Matty. The other way is to hold them accountable. That's him talking about his coach. And he's not really wrong. He said everything right there. We do it in practice. It's a weapon. It's designed to draw them off. And the last time I checked, the offense is the only unit that's supposed to know the damn cadence, not the defense. And so you can call Saleh the worst coach in the NFL, Jet fan. You can do it all day long. But that loss is on him. That's a bad loss. I'm going to.
It was a monsoon.
It was.
But you're right. I mean, it was. But 19 total points scored in the game.
10-9.
Yeah, that's tough. Denver back-to-back dubs for them?
Well, how about this? Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If it was such a monsoon, what is Aaron Rodgers doing throwing it 40-plus times?
Fair.
When you have Braylon Allen and Breece Hall.
Well, don't football players usually say it's the wind that'll get you, not really the rain?
Well, you got to be able to hold the ball. Clearly he was, or throw the ball, but Bo Nix threw for 60 yards. They won a game. He was 12 of 25, and they won a game.
What is that? Yeah, that's
honestly, I think
it's a tough one for the Jets. That's a tough one for the
Jets.
You
got to grind it out.
Getting back to OAA run in Robert Saleh, a.k.a. Xerxes from 300. There's something here.
Sorry, I'm distracted. It all comes down to this. I may just recuse myself from this segment. If Bader gets a single, I may actually win fantasy baseball. 2 on, 2 out. I mean, this is crazy.
You can't look. CB, he's so antsy. He can't even sit down right now.
Games. And it comes down to this. Sorry.
You're good.
Continue.
I'm living through you right now because I got a fantasy baseball championship over here. I'm good.
That's right.
Print the damn shirts for my team. But something's going. We've been on this all summer. We were on it in the summer because when Robert Saleh took to the podium and used inexcused absence from the mandatory minicamp thing, we knew that irked Aaron Rodgers. And so there's always been, to me, this underlying tone of a hint of dislike between the two. I can't fully prove it.
Oh, I think it's from the unexcused absence, but we knew about it. He didn't back his guy.
He did. Yeah. That's. I'm glad you said it the way he didn't back his guy. For Rodgers, I'm sure that was a thorn in his side, and so we had the Jalen Hurts Sirianni thing, and now here we are with another head coach and quarterback that seem to be, maybe not on the same page all the time, and there's evidence stacking up. Seems like week by week now with these guys. Yeah. Pretty wild.
All right, that'll do it. I lose. 5 scoreless innings. We called it before. You, me, and Shark called it. Schwellenbach, 5 scoreless innings for Atlanta. They're up 2-0 in the first game of the doubleheader. Atlanta wins today. They're in to the playoffs. And as long as if the Mets win the second game of the doubleheader, they'd be in, which you think that Atlanta might almost hand them the second game, knowing they're in. But that was unbelievable. That was excruciating.
I feel for you, big dog. I feel for you.
Just couldn't get the timely hit.
Tough, isn't it? Did you know, though, the Columbus Men's Clinic is celebrating 10 years of treating thousands and thousands of local men? The Columbus Men's Clinic is the largest and most experienced men's health practice in Columbus for a decade. The Columbus Men's Clinic have done this all day, every day. It's all they specialize in, and they have gotten a lot better over the years. Higher success rates, better administrative and medical staff, more treatments, and more happy patients and partners. Their ED, low T, and weight loss treatments truly change lives, and their experience makes the difference. Call 614-300-7400. That's 614-300-7400. Or go online to columbusmensclinic.com to book an appointment today. columbusmensclinic.com.
All right, there's a new number 1. How real is it? It feels a lot more real than I thought before the season. We'll talk with our friend Ian Fitzsimmons of ESPN next and break it down. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If your idea of the perfect radio show is all Buckeyes all the time, then it's your lucky day, Slappy, the Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Fox tonight.
911, what's your emergency? 911, what's your emergency?
A train just derailed.
The 911 Lone Star season premiere event continues.
All companies fall back.
Then,
this is the most dangerous stretch of beach in the world.
Rescue High Surf is TV's hottest new drama.
2 fishermen on kayaks. Was unconscious.
Getting dangerous.
I'm going in.
911 Lone Star and Rescue High Surf, all new.
Tonight starting at 8 on Fox 28.
With so much happening every day,
ABC6 News is on your side, helping you understand the events that impact your community.
Do you believe Columbus City Schools is in a PR crisis?
Central Ohio's most experienced team of reporters, persistent in getting answers to the questions you're asking.
Are you worried about how people are going to react?
And when you need us, ABC6 News is on your side, finding solutions.
6 on your side, they're the ones willing to answer the phone.
You can count on ABC6 News to be on your side.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you need a new roof, but you're not sure you can afford it, no problem. Right now, Able Roof is offering no payments, no interest until 2026 for qualified buyers. Yep, that's the same Able Roof that's been voted the #1 roofing company in Columbus by Consumer Choice Awards 22 years in a row. Want more? Able Roof will give you up to $1,000 off a new roof, siding, or windows. This is a limited time offer, so call Able Roof today.
Call Able for the proof. 444 Roof.
Welcome to Reverse Aesthetics. Our medical weight loss program includes popular medications like semaglutide and tirzepatide, both of which are supercharged by our body sculpting treatments. For only $2.99 per month, under the supervision of our board-certified medical doctor, Reverse Aesthetics can help you achieve your weight loss goals while tracking progress quarterly. We have plenty of inventory and can begin treatment within 48 hours of your consult. Schedule now at reverse-aesthetics.com or call us at 614-656-4000.
Remember how that little girl in Poltergeist was in the TV?
They're here.
Yeah? Well, she's actually dead now. It's quite sad. Anyway, watch your favorite fan shows on your TV by subscribing to us on YouTube. Search 971 The Fan. Do it now.
Bobby Carpenter's dad and retired pro football player Rob Carpenter was tired of dealing with knee pain, but finally found relief without surgery at QC Kinetics.
Yeah, this was nothing really like a surgery. I mean, it was not painful, and the results were good. And, I'm walking out the door and walking pain-free, so it was a good experience.
Dr. Tessner and the medical professionals at QC Kinetics treat patients like Rob using regenerative medicine that helps heal and restore damaged joints with no downtime.
I wasn't really exercising much, and I gained weight because of that. So the upside of it obviously is I'm able to exercise without any pain or stiffness in the knee, and it's got my cardiovascular system back into shape, and I feel a lot better. And again, lost the weight. So what more can you ask for?
Call QC Kinetics for your complimentary consultation in Dublin or Gahanna. 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. Or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
APCO, windows, siding, and decks. Business First says we're the largest remodeler in town. Our philosophy is simple. We don't rely on sales gimmicks to get our customers. We rely on our reputation.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
From the first one born in the USA to the tens of millions that followed, from the American highways to the NASCAR race days, Toyota Camry has been there, done that, and has the accolades to prove it. But that wasn't enough. It had to be better. Introducing the all-new 9th generation Toyota Camry. All hybrid all the time to be more efficient yet powerful. With the capability to go wherever you want to go in style and comfort. The all-new 2025 Camry from Toyota. Let's go places.
Does your vehicle need maintenance, but you don't have time? Krieger Ford's got you covered. Enjoy our convenient pickup and delivery service, or we come to you with our mobile service van. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Schedule your appointment today, only at KriegerFord.com.
The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake. At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. Looking to upgrade? The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers and want you to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
No one funks up the work microwave like these two. Fish again? You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, he was going back to Cali. Like LL Cool J once sang, my man Ian Fitzsimmons, ESPN sideline reporter, with us every week at this time. My man, hope your weekend was well. We saw some beauties this weekend.
And guess what? On Thursday, I'm coming home.
That's awesome.
As Motley Crue once said, man, watch out, 614. Daddy is coming back. I can't wait. But my dogs agree. There you go, man. You start singing and the pub start howling.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I had it was great to go to Cali. Miller Moss is a dude. Just remember that name, folks. If you don't know who he is yet, you should, because he is going to be an outstanding pro quarterback and just a hell of a college quarterback. As again, my dogs agree. So it was good to go out there and also watch Luke Fickell's boys, man. In the first half, they were just dominant. They're just too thin right now, but. The former Buckeye, he's going to get it right. We all know that. He needs one more year to get his guys in, and he'll have that thing clicking in Madison. But it was a good trip out to Cali, and then Niners and Pats yesterday, which was just ugly, as you can imagine.
No doubt. You know, it's interesting. I'll take you back to Whiskey real fast because they had such a great start there. And when he brought in Phil Longo and that offense, you know, the thought was that they were gonna take off, and that hasn't happened. I know they have the quarterback injury and all that, but a lot of the Badger haters right now are talking about that bad fit between Fickell and Longo. Or at least that's what they're judging. Yeah, and that was kind of the narrative in the second half. And look, Braden Locke, the guy who came in, the quarterback came in for Van Dyke. He's got a little moxie to him, boys. I mean, he's wicked smart. He has a, no fear type attitude. And in the first half, they dominated USC. But, look, Matty, you played the game. AR, you've been around the game forever, man. In my walk and talk at halftime with Lincoln Riley, when a head coach is really calm and he's not wigging out, he saw something, right? And it was 21-10. And Lincoln Riley walking off the field with me is like, look, we had 3 first-half turnovers. We have too many stupid pre-snap penalties. We clean those 2 things up, we win the game. And they did. Yeah. They played a clean second half. And then when a coach is that calm, that he saw something that the rest of us didn't. And, man, USC was dominant in the second half.
So sitting there Saturday night and the end of the first quarter, I'm like, what the hell is happening in Tuscaloosa? It's 21-0. Georgia got punched in the face. And then, Ian, they said, you know what? We got some fight in us, and we're going to make this interesting. That game absolutely delivered just pure football sentiment. It was awesome.
I mean, and how awesome is that when we have a game that is built up as one of the best we're going to see all year, and it actually delivers to be one of the best we're going to see all year. That's what's so special about the great game of college football. And that thing in Tuscaloosa, man, look, as you guys know, I used to own the Innisfree Irish Pub, still have a small share in it in Tuscaloosa. And my old partner, Trip Rogers, told me, man, the RV lots on Tuesday were full. And it was an insane atmosphere that, again, the actual game on the field lived up to the hype around the game. And that's very rare. And I'll tell you this, Kalen DeBoer, our crew had him 6 times last year at Washington. Man, he is a leader of men. And what he did with Michael Penix Jr., he is now doing with Jalen Milroe, quarterback of Alabama. Watch out, because that Tide bunch, they're legit. And if you don't think Kirby Smart is going to have his guys motivated and ready to go after that atrocious first half that he saw from his dogs, think again. Both those teams will be in the college football playoff. Great interception at the end of the game. I listen, he gave his chance. Now, watching it live, Fitzy, I thought they had Bam on their heels a little bit. There was time. They're on the 20. It felt like that was a shot. In hindsight, I don't know if he needed to take. What'd you think of it? I didn't have a problem with it because if he throws it just a little more to that back shoulder, it's probably a tud. Mm-hmm. It was slightly underthrown where a freshman and Xavier Brown made one heck of a play on the ball. But if Carson Beck puts a little more air underneath that AR, that's a tud. Yeah. And I agree with you. Georgia showed so much heart, man, in coming back down that big. It was impressive. So give me that every single Saturday night, and I'm good, man, and I'm good. And speaking of Saturdays, right, your guys can't wait to come home, as I mentioned, and my daughters will tell you all that I am tone deaf. I can't sing, but I didn't give a damn. I was going to do it anyway. Man, how is Iowa a 20.5-point underdog coming into this thing with that defense led by Jay Higgins? We talked about it earlier in the show. It's just the respect that they have right now for this offense in Ohio State. I agree with you. It seems like a pretty big number until it isn't, right? It's a big number until it isn't. And I don't think anyone would be shocked if Ohio State won that game by 21. And listen, it could be a close game going into the fourth quarter, and they could still cover. I don't know, but you're right. Iowa leans on that running game. It is shock. It would. That would shock you if Ohio State. No, I was shocked when I saw the number. Yeah. I thought it'd be around, maybe 11 or 12 for the Bucks, but 20 in a hook. Yeah. I mean, because Iowa shortens games, even with the new OC, right, and everything else. That game is going to be shortened, and to have a 20.5-point, line on that thing, I was absolutely stunned. But think about this: what we've seen so far through 5 weeks in college football, something crazy has happened every single week. As Herbstreit would say, Kentucky, right? As his grandfather used to pronounce it. It's not Cincinnati, Cincinnati. It's not Kentucky, it's Kentucky, right? Man, going into Ole Miss and winning, and the way they played Georgia, we think we know what's going on in college football, right? And until we don't. And that was another example of holy mother. Every single week we have seen something crazy happen, whether it's, Kentucky beating Ole Miss, Northern Illinois beating Notre Dame, go on down, man. Every single week, something that we didn't expect has happened. And that's why I brought up that 20.5, man. I'm going, wait a minute. Somebody knows something that I don't.
Yeah.
And, again, it may be a Buckeye blowout or a cover by Iowa, but bottom line is, folks, buckle your chin strap because the insanity of the great game of college football is on steroids right now.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's incredible. So we had a Heisman post hit by Travis Hunter this weekend. I mean, where are you at on that conversation? Jalen,
I told you guys before week one.
I mean, this is
$50 to get you $500, man.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Or $10 got you $500. Excuse me. He was 50-1 to win the Heisman. And I said before week one, Travis Hunter is the best player in college football. I don't care what you think about Deion as a head coach, as a person, as a media mogul, whatever it is. I don't care. Travis Hunter is the best player in college football, and he will get an invite if they get to 7 wins. They don't even have to have 9 or 10. If they got to 7, he's going to New York as a Heisman finalist, and here he is right now making plays on a team. Now that. To me, in the 2 years that Deion Sanders has been at Colorado, that was the most complete win they've had. Going into Central Florida and shutting down a rushing attack that was just killing it on the ground with the Gus bus. That was a remarkable win, and Travis Hunter has now, I'm telling you, he's going to New York, and if you didn't listen to me for $10 to win $500, that's on you because Giuseppe's in Hyde Park will taste really good with some free money.
He had already come down to like 17-1. I think he's now 6-1. So yeah, you gave us a nice.
It's not worth the money now, right? But before week one, at 50-1, that was worth $10.
Ian, real quick, because we got about a minute left. What do you hear about what the NFL thinks about what he is going to be in the league? Corner, wide receiver, corner. Okay.
I was talking to a couple of scouts with the Niners. Having had, saying, by the way, George Kittle bragging on his Iowa Hawkeyes, folks. So
he had the catch of the weekend.
I think I sent you the clip, right? Yeah, he's already talking about an Iowa upset. And then I brought up Bosa and a wager, and he kind of walked it back a little bit. But anyway, he's a corner at the next level, but there will be a package for him just to get on the field. Not the rate he is right now, because to me, it's too many snaps he's taking on the offensive side of the ball. But, I mean, in the NFL, it'll be 12 to 15 snaps on the offensive side, but he's a corner at the next level.
All right, can't wait to welcome you back to C-Bus, my man. See you soon. Safe travel.
Come on, folks. I'll land around, 2 o'clock on Thursday. Get ready, folks. Buckle your chin strap. It's going to be a dandy.
Awesome. Thanks, Ian. Take care, bud.
See you, boys.
There he is. By the way, a couple of things we weren't able to get to him. That catch by the kid from Minnesota against Michigan. Did you see it in the back of the end zone?
No, I didn't.
Before the onside kick, that I don't think they were offside.
They were not offside.
Yeah, they were not, which is horrible. That catch you got to go back and look at. The Vatek Miami.
Okay, that was.
I mean, that's.
What I mean, I
unreal.
still don't know.
It was moving. Unfortunately, it was moving.
Gosh.
I was rooting for Vatek. I wanted that moment for them, but it unfortunately was moving. He didn't have. Didn't have it long enough. Ball was moving a little bit, but it was wild that got through. All right, we'll come back with Tell the Truth. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
Attention, Ohio pizza restaurant owners. Tired of glitchy point-of-sale systems slowing you down? Meet Hunger Rush, Ohio's favorite pizza POS. With reliable hardware, an easy-to-use system, and 24/7 customer support, Hunger Rush speeds up your operations and boosts repeat orders by up to 10%. 100%. This is the restaurant point of sale built for pizza. Easily manage your drivers, easily take orders online, easily train your staff in minutes, and easily make modifications. Need to talk to a real person? That's easy too. Top Ohio pizzerias are winning with Hunger Rush. Solutions to help you streamline service, optimize workflows, and maximize profits. Join the thousands of successful restaurants transforming their operations with Hunger Rush for $0 down and $0 a month. Tools for menu management, marketing, customer engagement, and increased upsells, all in one simple platform. That's Hunger Rush, Ohio's favorite pizza POS. Schedule your free no-obligation demo at ohiopos.com. ohiopos.com. ohiopos.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every single night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I get it. But there are alternatives to the CPAP machine, and Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and stops your snoring. What a concept. It's quick, comfortable, and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and he has a track record to prove it. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. And as the end of the year approaches, a lot of people have exceeded their medical deductibles, which means less out of pocket for you. Don't delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. Or you can visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Integrity, honesty, and quality. Words we live by here at Monogram Homes. Hi, this is Dina. And at Monogram Homes, we strive to bring your wants to your man cave, your needs to your kitchen, and your ideas to life. Most home builders claim to be custom, but starting with stock floor plans and templates isn't our idea of a tailored experience. At Monogram Homes, we start with a blank slate and work with you until you get exactly what you want. So start your true custom home journey today with a builder you can trust. Monogram Homes. Visit us online at monogramhomes.net.
If you miss a little, you'll miss a lot. Search for your favorite fan shows wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Every episode comes right to your phone absolutely free. Modern technology, it's a hell of a thing. Do it now. The Fan.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward. Thanksgiving's coming up fast. So while you're counting your blessings, why not add a thankful 30 to the list? With Awaken 180 weight loss, you could drop 30 pounds by Thanksgiving, or even 40 if you get the same results I did. I dropped my first 30 pounds in just over a month, and let me tell you, it's a game changer. Imagine this. While everyone else is debating the play calling in the big games, you're sitting at the dinner table feeling lighter, more energetic, and thankful for the 30 pounds no longer holding you back. If I can drop 55 pounds with Awaken 180, I know you can hit the thankful 30 by Turkey Day. It's simple. It's laid out for you. And as you all know by now, it doesn't include a lifetime of medications. That's why I chose Awaken 180. Be thankful this year by dropping your 30 or more pounds. Head to awaken180weightloss.com and reserve your consultation today. It's fast, proven, and as you all know, the weight will stay off thanks to free support for life. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Ohio, ready for some quick mental health facts? Let's go. Nearly 2 million Ohioans live with a mental health condition. In the U.S., more than 50% of people will be diagnosed with a mental illness in their lifetime. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide. So why are some of us still stigmatizing people living with a mental health condition when we know all of this? Let's listen to the facts and beat the stigma. Ohio, challenge what you know about mental health at beatthestigma.org.
The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake. At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. Looking to upgrade? The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers and want you to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Ohio Heating and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
All right, CB, take us home.
All right, I'm going to weave some sound into my Tell the Truth real quick because my first question is about Doug Peterson. It hasn't been good. The losing streak for Trevor Lawrence has extended to, I believe it's now 9 games. So I want you to listen to this cut. It was a pretty interesting post-game conversation with a reporter about the play calls. I want you to listen to it and then tell me the truth if you think he is now the odds-on favorite to be the first coach fired.
You take the headset over just to change this thing up?
For what? I thought he called a great game. We as coaches, we can't go out there and make the plays, right? It's a two-way street. So, you guys can sit here and point the finger all you want, and that's fine. Point it right at me. I can take it. Okay? I can take it. So, whatever you want to ask me, say, whatever, right, go ahead.
You did tell us at your introductory news conference a couple of years ago, if it's not working, if it's not in rhythm, whether it's your plays or not, that you hand off the play calling. Is it just one of those, maybe it's just a voice, a confidence? You guys were cooking when you were doing it, it looked like in 22.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I'll take it into consideration.
All right, so it's hypocritical. He contradicted himself. If you're going to point the finger at the players, and there may be some reality to that, then you can't take it. Then you can't take it because then you're deflecting the blame. So no coach, unfortunately, and I just think this is an unfortunate part of the business, can get up there and say what he said, which is the players have to make plays. It's a two-way street. He's right. He's 100% accurate. I don't want to crush him for that. But what happens is it makes me feel like that you are up there defending yourself, and he's in trouble. He's big time on the hot seat. And there are others that should be. Saleh should be. Sirianni's not feeling much more comfy than him. And the fact that I wouldn't fire Peterson off that game. They led Houston. Like, that was a good game they played to a team that got dismantled by my Vikes. And, you lost by 4 points, but there's no way getting around the 0-4 and a 49-point differential or minus 49-point differential. But, yeah, they have to be better than this. And a lot of people think they are better than this, which puts even more pressure on him. But as much as I want to back, if you watch a game and players are just bonehead plays and all that, then it isn't the coach's fault. He can't go out there and do that. But the second you start saying that publicly, you got a problem.
Yeah, because then he kind of went down the Mike Gundy road. A little bit of I'm a man, I'm 40, and I can handle it. Talk about me. Say it about
He wants
me.
You to talk about the players, really.
Well, he said that after the fact. He said what you said before and then went down the road of, I can handle it and all that other stuff.
Which contradicted himself.
No question. And so I'm very interested to see, the players' reaction to that, because they're probably going to be asked about it today after practice or at some point this week, and they're probably not going to make much of it, but maybe internally those guys are like, really, Coach? That's what we're doing? And we already know what our responsibilities are. To get to CB's question, I do think he is that guy. He is the guy that is probably the odds-on favorite to lose his job first. They're the only team in the league outside of Tennessee that doesn't have a win yet. Tennessee has a chance to correct that tonight on Monday Night Football. So, yeah, it's looking real bad.
Here's the thing also. You can't act confused that you're being asked about your job status when you've lost 9 of your last 10 games and you're 0-4 this year.
Yeah.
The best thing to say then is, that is what it is. My job is to try to help my football team win a game this week. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
You deflect completely the big picture.
You can't handle the truth.
All right, this weekend, act as you're the teacher grading the test. You're looking at Ohio State's grade or test from this weekend against Michigan State. What is the letter grade you're giving them?
I like a little B this week. I like a B. It's good. It's really good overall. You got to be perfect to get an A in my classroom. So I'm going to the B, AR.
I think that's a fine grade. I don't think that they would take that as an insult. They weren't great on third down, but they were great when they needed to be. And I think that's a good sign. They were very good on fourth down. And so now they had the luxury of knowing that Michigan State probably couldn't play with them offensively. But I thought they made some big plays in big moments. But you cannot give them an A. You certainly can't give the quarterback an A. But from an effort standpoint, from an efficiency standpoint, when it mattered on some big plays, they cashed. And they played pretty well. So I think a B is fine, leaning towards a B+. This 38-7 on the road, Big Ten opener. No one's complaining about that. They gave up one score. It was in the second quarter. They shut them down the rest of the way. We grade on a different scale here in Columbus, Ohio. So I think a B is okay.
Did you say I know my truth?
I know my truth.
Really quick, the final question is the fan poll. The question is, where do you think Ohio State should be currently ranked in the college football, I'm assuming the AP poll? First, second, third, or fourth, or lower?
You know, it's weird to say this, but if you just go on like schedules and the way this has gone, you'd probably say that they deserve to be, ranked fourth. But I think third is fine. I think it's appropriate based on the schedules and who teams have beaten.
Yeah, I'm all in on them being third right now, for sure.
The truth shall set you free.
If you missed anything from our show, as always, just a reminder, wherever you get your podcast, type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3, we'll be waiting for you. Subscribe to the old Rothman and Ice podcast as well. Coming up on Common Man and T-Bone, it's Reaction Monday for them, and Jason Stark joins the program at 5:33. Hall of Famer Jason Stark joins the program at 5:33 to talk all things baseball.
All right, we will come back tomorrow. We got a Ryan Day presser for you tomorrow to start the show on a Tap Dance Tuesday, and then a lot to get to in a big sports week. Have a great afternoon. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If you don't like listening to Morning Juice, Bobby Carpenter's man nipples will punch you in the face. For real.
You want to fight, do you? Weekdays from 6 to 9.
The Fan. This is a Fan Action Update.
2 Monday Night Football games tonight. First, it's the Titans and Dolphins. Dolphins are 2.5-point home favorite, minus 140 on the money line. Titans are plus 120 to pull off the upset. Very low, 37 points is the total. Then it's the Lions and Seahawks. Lions are a 4-point home favorite and minus 200 on the money line. Seattle plus 165 to pull the upset. Total is 47 for your Action Update. I'm Scotty Vegas.
Trust and Will knows that this fall, you're likely celebrating a birthday, your own, a loved one's, or even welcoming a new addition. Because fall is the most popular birthday season in America, and Trust and Will celebrates milestones by protecting what matters most. Trust and Will makes estate planning easy and affordable, with step-by-step guidance designed by attorneys but customized by you. All documents are state-specific, legally valid, and secure. Plus, Trust and Will has thousands of 5-star reviews and a rating of excellent on Trustpilot. So join the hundreds of thousands of families in celebrating and securing your future with Trust and Will. Visit trustandwill.com now with offer code Columbus for 10% off your plan. That's trustandwill.com, offer code Columbus. Trustandwill.com. Trust and Will is an online service providing legal forms and information. It is not a law firm and is not a substitute for the advice of an attorney. Documents are not valid until formally executed in accordance with applicable law.
Giant Eagle is making it easy to surround yourself with the sound of freshness. With new low prices on hundreds of your favorite produce items, so you save on all the crunch, all the flavor, all the just-picked goodness you love. Surround yourself with savings every time you shop with new low prices on apples, carrots, lettuce, celery, and more. Enjoy fresh savings on fresh produce at your neighborhood Giant Eagle.
At APCO Windows, there's no 35% off sales, no buy one, get one free, just our best bottom line price. So get multiple estimates. Just make sure one is from APCO.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
Protect yourself, Ohio. Get your shots for COVID and flu today. A message from the Ohio Departments of Health and Aging.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
The time to save big is now. It's Ford Truck Month at your local Ford dealer, and the time to buy is now. Make way for great offers across an amazing lineup of Ford trucks, featuring the built Ford Tough F-150 and Super Duty. Check out the versatile Ford Maverick and the capable Ford Ranger. But you can't wait. These limited Truck Month deals won't last. Check it all out at buyfordnow.com. Then get over to your local Ford dealer today. Hurry in, as these deals won't last long.
Get Nature Stone and never replace your flooring again. Nature Stone is a beautiful permanent flooring solution for garages, basements, and indoor spaces. Act now to get pricing as low as 99 cents a square foot plus installation. Schedule your free cost estimate today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.